Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? Happy Wednesday. How is everybody doing out there? What's going on? What's going on? I'm waiting for Tori to arrive. Not sure if she left yet or what. I know Robbie's coming on. Let's go through some papers. Sorry, I was a little late here. That's my fault. Waiting for them is not the reason I'm late. I told you guys I had a lot to do today, and I was just losing track of time doing what I was supposed to be doing. So, sorry. I kept trying to check the time. I'm like, all right, I got 5 more minutes, and then my 5 minutes went into 10 with what I was doing. So, anyway, trust me, it's all goody. So, how is you people doing? Seriously, how are you guys? Let's say who's here. Hi, Sherry. Frank, hello, Noel, Suzanne, Tammy, Okimima, Diane. Diane is here. Wow, are you off this week, Diane? Or today, shall I say? Stacy, Suzanne, Tammy J, Lisa, hello, Ernie, Pam, Gammy Gammon, hello, it's going fast. Dreamweaver, John Cap, Jenny B, hey John Cook, Jennifer W, back to country, hello. Oh my gosh, hello. It's going so fast. Sharon, Bearded Fisherman, Road King, hey, Ghost Lady, Ray Bone Crusher, Amy, Carrie, oh, Kitty Mama Kim, Suzanne, Mel, oh my gosh, hello. Britta, Angie, Linda, DRD, what's going on? Expiration date, hello. Hi, Bobby, Bonita, Sally. Oh my gosh, look at you guys. Ray Toller, hey. Mindy, did I say your name, Mindy? Sorry, I saw you go by. Timothy, Lucinda, Cat Rose's Crib, hi. I think I said Sheena. But anyway, Sheena. Lori, hello. Romper Room Flashbacks. I know. I just like to, say hi to everybody. Go crazy! What's going on? DR Carter, Mike McDermott, hello. Hey, Babs. Let's see. Donis. VA Granny. West VA Granny. Hi. Flat. Chucky Cheese. Pandera, hello. Mamma Mia. Hello. All the ladies in the house. And the gents, everybody's here. Connie, hello. Sylvie, hello, Sylvie. Argon Grandma, hello. Hi. Dardar, hey. Day. Noreen Curtis, hello. You have the picture that Germ showed today. I do? What picture? I didn't watch him today. I didn't care. Whatever he says is the same bullshit. So I did not care to watch him today. Pile 'em up, boo. Pile 'em up. As a matter of fact, today was all about the pile 'em up. Strictly! Hannah, hello. Yeah, so lots to do today, lots to cover. I still have lots to do before I even go to sleep. Hi, Rin. So yeah, lots to do. I have no idea what he did today. I know what happened in court cases and stuff. I think he thinks he's funny. Okay, Gabe's playing funny. What, Gabe? I hear you. He's on a speaker. He's coming out of a speaker from the garage. It's kind of funny. Anyway, he's trying to scare me, I guess. I don't know. Crimson, hello. Hey, Peculiar. I had a meme that said blindsided by a royal flush. Oh, he had a meme. Oh, that's kind of funny because that's kind of wrong. The person who's blindsided by the royal flush when ace is high is Gerb. He just doesn't know it yet, guys. That he thinks it, as they came out, each one was what it was. No, We've always been sitting over here with some evidence. Okay, he has no clue. So, and he thinks Bruce being up, withdrawn from the case is like the biggest thing yet. Lisa Rickards ran his mouth off on SL. What? On who? Where? About what? About me? About what? Did you get my email that you mad? Today? I don't know, but she mad. Is she mad? Oh, duh. Storage Legends. Duh. Okay, yeah, see, brain fart. I'm literally still in Palomont mode over here. So yeah, I don't know what happened over there. I missed it, but I will be praying for Guapo because I know I believe his surgery is tomorrow. Correct? Christina. Okay. So I guess he was over there talking crap. Was he talking about crap about me? He put a post about who he really was, if you can believe it. A post about, I don't know. What? Who put a post about who he really was? If David didn't talk to him out of it. What? I'm lost. Who did a post about who they really were? If only it doesn't talk Guapo out of it. Out of what? Rickards, is you mad? Nuh-uh. Is it? First off, whoever that was hid their profile real fast, and that concealed weapons permit does exist for someone who lives 3 miles away, and also someone in Maine, and her name is Kelly. So they were playing. Oh, so you're talking about him talking him out of the surgery? No way. Why would he do that? What's up, anti-ecosystem? You mean my channel? I'm the anti-ecosystem? Ecosystem? Okay. Gapo's being... I'm sorry. He did try to talk him out of getting surgery. Why? Why would he do that? He needs the surgery. I don't understand. So, is that what you mean by him? You don't like him? Don't do it. If he has a broken... I saw a title where it said ACL, his ACL is like done. My verbiage. I saw Guapo. I was in here. He needed the surgery before he's too much pain. Yeah, I don't know. But is that what you're saying? He was talking shit, or he was talking shit about like me, other people, or just talking shit to Guapo and telling him that? His tendons are fucked. I don't know. He's gonna do it. It was immediate relief. Yeah, I don't know why he would tell him not to. I just read my comment about Donna. It is so hard to go back and read comments right now because they are flying. And then I'm sorry. You can retype it if you want. Only said to stay away from the hate channel. And so now I'm a hate channel in his eye? I don't know. You would think he meant me anyway because he was talking a bunch of stuff. I thought he stopped, but I don't know. I guess not. I don't know. I feel like I just keep saying, I don't know. And I don't know what happened on Jeremy's channel today. How is that, Rod? How is he a flip-flopper?
Hey.
Yeah, hey, hi. I heard you trying to get my attention over there.
Can you do me a favor? I think I got pop rocks in my hair.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Because I opened up the packet
And it flew everywhere.
and some of it I was like, with the packet.
Mm-hmm. And
some
it
of
flew
it,
behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you weren't sitting up when you did it.
Yeah, I was laying down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you want me to get the Pop Rock?
Excuse
me for a minute, guys.
Are you live right now?
Yes, I'm live.
Oh my gosh. My apologies.
Oh, geez, don't lie, and he'd be doing it anyway. He just wants you to touch his hair. There's not one.
No, I wouldn't come out here and say I got Pop Rock stuck in my hair.
He's sorry. He just wants you to touch his hair. He doesn't think about this. There's no Pop Rock here.
There's none?
No, absolutely not. Not even on one. Is that a car? I think that's a big ass car over there.
Yeah, that's that girl that's been sitting across from you.
Tori's here.
Oh yeah, Tori.
Pop Rock's in the hair. Interesting Gabe Pop Rock head. He's got so many Pop Rock. I mean, how many do you get?
I got
a lot.
I got quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just polished down like 20 packs.
No, you did not.
Or 20 packets, yeah.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I did. I mean, they're only those packets.
20?
Yeah. Yeah, so that would be okay.
How much sugar?
Probably a lot.
You're crazy. You're
but the packets are like this big, but only like the bottoms of them are just barely.
Someone gave me a truck.
Sorry.
It's no big deal. She's just joking.
I'm messing with you. That's okay. Mimi has a tower she bought, and she handed it to me so I can help her identify it. And then after the fact, I said, "You do know if you hand me a rock and don't give me any qualifiers for it, I'm supposed to put it in my pocket and take it home." She's like,
No, I'll probably be in the morning looking all over the place for him in the house.
The keys, yeah, exactly. One voice for you. Hey. Hello.
Hello, everybody. How was everybody?
They're saying hello to you, but I was looking at you. I'm sorry. My head's all over the place.
She wasn't paying attention to the chat.
Gabe is going to feel that tomorrow. Yep. Poop. See poops. You're going to have poops tomorrow. Gabe missed his mouth.
Miss what?
You missed your mouth.
Oh.
This chat's flying. Oh, they're saying share Pop Rocks. Share them. Gabe's going to be bouncing off the walls tonight if he had 20 packs of Pop Rocks. Yeah, you didn't have 20 packs.
I had about 10. 10.
The little ones, the triangle?
No, well, I had about 5 of those.
And then you had, no, you
Yeah, I had 10 packets.
The Pop Rocks. 10 packets of Pop Rocks.
when?
A little bit ago.
And I drank a half a gallon of milk.
Yeah,
I know. My stomach.
What's wrong with you?
I know.
Dude.
Now you wonder why. He
If
was sick all weekend. Yeah, you're crazy.
I'm
He's gonna get in trouble in the house.
They
Tori
were
came.
good.
that's just it.
They were so good.
Hide the Pop Rocks. I know,
It's like
right?
somebody telling you can't eat steak no more because it's gonna, eventually kill
It was
you.
my fault. I
no,
left a
I don't
bag
care.
of them because he has I made a bowl for him.
That's okay. I'm going to get my ice cream now.
He's got he's got a bowl of candy next to his bed, and on his side of the bed, I should say.
Yeah.
And what I did was, when I was in there earlier, I made the bed and everything, and then I sat down for a second, like, all right, I'm chilling. And the bag of the Pop Rocks, a new bag of Pop Rocks that he just got, was right there, and I left them on the bed. And that was my mistake.
You know what I was doing?
What?
I was because there was a little bit of packages still left over from the last delivery.
Right.
So I was trying to polish those off real quick so I can empty the new batch in there.
Well, I want the watermelons. Give me the watermelons. Did you eat them all?
I there's like 2 left of the old stuff, but I gotta I ate quite a bit. I wasn't even realizing it. I didn't even realize it until I looked over and I got a big pile of garbage on my
You're crazy.
I'm like, holy crap! I just
Sugar buzz.
I said I was
Cherries, the
going
whole
to bed, but I don't
rock.
think so.
Not after eating all that sugar. If you can go to sleep after eating all that, forget it. Tiana says no pop rocks for you.
Yeah.
Pop rock said.
Pop Rock said.
Oh my goodness. So anyway, apparently Germ said stuff or something today. What I can tell you today is Socket's an asshole. Sorry, my opinion, he's an asshole. What?
My husband asked me if I had a good visit
Yeah,
with Robbie.
and you know
I
what?
said I wasn't hanging with Robbie most of the time.
Thank you.
And that bag over there, that bag, I thought was mine too.
What bag?
That bag of candy, I thought it was.
He thought it was
candy.
I thought
he thought it was Tootsie Rolls.
I was like, man, she thought they were for Tootsie Rolls. And I like that big bag.
Cereal.
I'm like, I like that Tootsie
I'm
Rolls.
like, that's not Tootsie Rolls. Oh my goodness. That is so funny. All right, guys. So, anyway, Socket, well, on behalf of Germ today, the new lawsuit, and I know this is going to get confusing, so I'm going to start with the new lawsuit because, and I'm not going to show you anything. Gabe hates when I'm not in live chat.
You can't see all the comments.
Okay, so I can hear how
You
much
see
love
them
you and
all.
Gabe have. Love it. Oh, well, thank you.
What happened?
So, Sally said, at least I can hear how much love you and Gabe have. Heart, love it. Gabe is sending you down a rabbit hole. Right? He's just like taking me right away from where my head is, which is good. It's needed sometimes. You all right? What are you doing?
I got that big hole that
Okay, don't. No.
Yeah, the scab I just brushed against the chair and now it's a hole in my arm.
Yep. And he likes to do that so I get the feely feels because every time he has a problem.
I was playing with Jules and she's got those claws. And that one claw that's on the side of your foot, the dog's foot, where it's like the one that's over here on the inside is always sharp as a thumbtack. And she always gets me.
And you just love doing that right now.
Well,
see, guys, what happens is he likes to keep mentioning it and telling me how deep the hole was and how much blood was coming out because I wouldn't look at it. I would not look at it.
She's so mean to you. Won't look at the boo-boos.
Well, I did, but he's doing it on purpose, and the reason why is because he knows I get to where my elbows to my fingers zing, and I won't look at him.
I won't touch birds ever again. Birds, I don't like birds. Birds don't like me. Every time I've held a bird, they bit the shit out of me. And the last bird that got me was a damn cockatoo. And the damn have you ever seen a cockatoo's freaking beak? They're almost as big as a macaw. And that thing went inside one part of my arm and went out the other side.
Okay, 1 second. I'm looking for.
Well, that's the last time I picked one of those up. Or any bird for that matter.
You thought this was Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Oh, he did. I'm like, that's not Tootsie Rolls.
You got all excited over nothing.
No, I said my inventory is actually full now.
Oh, okay.
I carry this?
But,
look, you know why I carry this?
What? That's cool.
Is that?
How do you?
Because that's Ruby.
Because you can't see that normally.
All right, guys. So anyway, I got it, Donna.
Right,
so basically, somebody named John D. Grimes Jr. is claiming he admits that he's you mad. That he posted his CCP, and when I was afraid of getting found out, I deleted the account. But I regained my courage, and I want everyone to know I am Spartacus. You mad, and I'm not ashamed of it. What you think? Will this now get me on an anon list? It wasn't a guy, okay? It wasn't a guy's concealed weapons. And so no, it's bullshit.
I got Kelly's information off of her CCW.
Yeah, we got all her information.
I won't post it online.
No.
I could share it with a few people.
And it's verified, by the way, because we did go to the authorities. I did.
Yeah.
So don't worry. We know exactly who this person is. So you can ignore that.
But I'm not. But you're not. What you're not going to do is do this as a way of saying prove. That's not the name on the CC.
I don't have to prove that.
Because in order for me to prove it's not, I have to repost her information that gives her name, address, and date of birth. And I'm not doing that to anyone.
Well, that would be doxing. They do that.
Well, she already did it to herself. She made it public.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and lots of people have copies of that.
Yeah.
But I will not repost it.
No.
To prove that's who it was. Because I'm better than that.
Other minions are trying to deflect blame onto them. This is like so crazy. Here's the thing, guys. All that matters is what's going on with this lawsuit right now. Those Facebook people are trying to make themselves relevant. Okay? But if you want a threat, I'll make you relevant. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, pick me, pick me, pick me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, anyway. So, in the new lawsuit, there is an order that Socket for Jeremy has to refile, and he has to amend the complaint. He has to make it, more legit, not frivolous. Make it make sense. And due to that, we're waiting for the amended complaint, right? Well, it's not coming. So why should John Michelle or Marla answer a complaint that has to be redone by the order of the judge? So being that they didn't answer, he filed a default judgment against them because they had to answer by a certain date. And I'm like, are you an idiot? This is an attorney. Does he want to get reprimanded again by Bolitho? Because, oh, by the way, I got the transcript of the hearing from April 3rd. Yeah, Bolitho definitely wasn't happy with Shockett. And I'm sure if Bruce was there, he would have, been, talked to as well. And I'll just say talk to nicely. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Bolitho was not happy, especially since the hearing on the 3rd, because he made a note in the order for him to go over the rules of shotgun pleadings, which basically is telling him his lawsuit right now is frivolous. So, why would he? The default judgment is going to get thrown out because of the order that he made. Basically, Bolitho should have said, "There's a stay on this until you do," or something to that effect. So, it's nothing to worry about. It's just going to be another motion or whatever because of his order, and he wasn't, specific maybe. But Shaka was just an idiot to cause Bolitho that problem, to do that. He should have just amended the damn complaint.
Shockett was what?
Shockett filed...
No, he was a what?
An asshole.
End of discussion. No qualifier has to go with it.
I mean... The fact that he did that is going to piss Bolitho off.
Look.
Because Bolitho completely was like, oh my God. Wait till I read it to you. I'm not going to do it tonight because I really have to get out and read to you guys the 1, 2, 3 motion. It's very important. Especially since in this case, which is case number 1, it's an action needed by the judge to answer it, and there was no answer, which means it does. If it hasn't been already forwarded to a judge above Bolitho's heads, it's now being forwarded to the judge above Bolitho's head. So it's really good that you guys know what it includes, and this is the motion to vacate the judge because of all the wrongdoings that happened, and it explains why. And also, there's the response. So basically, before Bruce withdrew from the case, he basically put out there 2 mic drops, like boom and boom. And if you don't, remove or dismiss this case, you are an idiot. But in the transcript today, it was kind of interesting because Bolitho's sitting there saying he's only been a judge for 2 years. And I'm thinking, well, you're definitely no regular judge would have allowed this to happen. They would have known what was going on. They wouldn't have allowed this whole circus to happen. He, in his, in the hearing transcript, he says how this is that they're using, and he says they are using the all these motions like a circus. This is a nightmare. This case. And yet Bruce has been, that's exactly what Bruce filed in his motion 123. He's been filing things like that.
This is a circus.
Yeah, he's saying this is being used as a freaking circus for his YouTube channel. And so anyway.
Yeah, I'm eating chicken too.
Okay. Anyway, so Shock is an idiot. He's probably just as cocky as Germ, man. He must be. And he's trying to, in the hearing, he's literally trying to blame Bruce, like, oh, this guy's the nightmare, and I'm just responding to him, as if like he did nothing wrong. Bruce, if you literally read those emails back to back, it's like Bruce is saying one thing as, you know, a proper attorney, and Shock is refusing to answer so many times, and it's absolutely ridiculous, totally ridiculous. So I am going to begin. Don't think I'm going to get through the whole thing because I've done so much work today that my eyes are just going to go blurry on me, and I'm probably going to lose my voice as I'm talking. Huh? It is long. Motion 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So, and by the way, I was sent an email today about a little bit of a timeline that someone put together and had just for themselves, for their records or whatever, because they've been going through the case. I'm not going to call out their name, but I literally just printed it before going live. And I haven't read it yet, but I'm interested in reading that to you guys too, because it looks like it's a Michelle versus Jeremy, and what, you know, she's supposedly done to him, what he's supposedly done to her. Not sure if they expected me to read it. I'll find that out maybe, because I'll be that I'm going to read this 1, 2, 3 motion tonight. I'm not sure I'll have even the time to go over this. But there's 3 things. I'd like to read that. I want to go over the hearing transcript. Because it was interesting. And Shocky did get reamed. He definitely did. I have email from Christine. Okay. Hold on, let me take a look-see. Oh, look at this, Gabe.
What's that? What? That's for me.
Yeah. Pop Rocks dips. Blue raspberry. Look at that. You get like a, whoops, what is that?
Sort of like those, remember that powder stuff you got with the white stick? The
Fun Dip.
Fun Dip.
Yeah, so it's like a Fun Dip with Pop Rocks. Ooh. What's that? What's wrong?
I don't know. I hurt my leg.
Oh my God, stop it.
You're just falling apart now.
Look at that sour apple. Oh my gosh. Blue raspberry and sour apple. I'd like to try the sour apple. All right. No. Okay. Thanks, Christine.
Christine, thank you.
Who got banned? You can do it. You got 6 hours to go. Who you talking to? Me or someone in the chat? Lick a stick. Lick a stick. I want one.
Remember the ring pops?
Oh yeah.
Do they still make those?
Chad Lover. Hey Georgia. I vote for transcript first. You guys want me to read the transcript? All right. All right, here's the deal. The 1, 2, 3 motion is it's long, and but it's definitely, you want me to, yes. All right, I'll tell you what. I will delay because I know you guys are more fresh into the hearing. And being that he hasn't said anything about 1, 2, 3, I will see, I was saying 1, 2, 3 much. Okay, here it is. It's going to be up to you guys. All right. If I don't do one, I'll do one tonight and I'll do one tomorrow night. Okay. So tonight,
listen carefully.
Type a 1 in the chat if you want to hear the transcript from the hearing, and type a 2 in the chat if you want to hear the 1, 2, 3 motion. Even though my thumbnail said it's going to be the 1, 2, 3, I'm giving you the option. Telling me now. 1 for the transcript, 2 for the 1, 2, 3 motion. Even though I'm gonna do it tomorrow, if I'm not tonight, it looks like the transcript. Everybody's typing ones. Couple twos.
Yeah.
Lana said 9. Ones. It's all ones.
All ones.
All right.
2 will be tomorrow.
Tomorrow's a big day.
Oh, yeah. For you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you too.
How's it for me?
You're driving.
I know I'm driving, but I can drive there. I can sleep in the truck, and then I can come back. And then
he's gonna go. So we're all going. It's gonna be a big party. Don't you think?
Maybe.
I think. Well, so there's some important peeps going. So I think it's gonna be a nice party.
It's gonna be very interesting.
It's definitely gonna be interesting. We need to film that. It'll be fun. I think. Anyway, it's gonna be fun.
I'll do it. I'll film it.
Okay. All right. So I guess
what we'll
do.
It. Ask them if they want me to film it.
But they don't know what it is.
It doesn't matter what it is.
I can't say what it is.
I'm sure they won't mind me filming something and showing it, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't know what we can do yet. We have to wait for it to happen. But you can film it.
Well, if I'm able to film it, I'm going to film it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, they said, of course. Now they all want to know what's going on tomorrow. Anyway. Sorry, I had to take a drink. Gabe the cameraman.
Yeah.
Are we visiting Robbie or Marcia? No, we're just going on a trip.
In a mighty rocket ship.
You're welcome, Benita.
You're doing something for Robbie?
Me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we're doing something for Robbie.
Actually, we're doing something for everybody.
It's a joint.
It's a joint thing.
Project.
Yeah, it's a joint project that we're working on.
Yeah.
So, did you receive a cat? Yes, I did, Raw Dog. We have a nice giveaway to do tonight. So, that would be a second giveaway. And it's courtesy of Raw Dog and Mimi.
Of the Raw Dog.
Yeah. So, what is that? Is that a golf cart, like, collecting stuff? What the hell was that?
It sounded like someone's golf cart.
It looked like it had a lot of stuff on it. You see that? Like a collecting garbage or something.
Oh.
Anyway.
Just a big 4-wheel drive golf cart.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they still make ring pops, Brent said.
Go ahead. Found my mouse.
All right, so let me find the transcript now since I had the other thing up. All right. Hold on, I need to take a look-see now. All right, so this will be interesting. Where did I put it? Hold on. Touch, please. No. Not while I'm live.
What?
It's too loud. I'll do it after.
Okay.
What?
I was gonna throw something in.
All right, that's not it. Hold on, I gotta find it.
But me and my bright ideas are never.
Yeah, it should have been done earlier, actually, but it doesn't matter. It'll be done by tomorrow. Let me see. I just have to find it, guys. I actually redid folders and files here, so I have to figure out what I did with it. I thought I had it open, actually. Hold on.
There he is.
What's this? Oh, look at that. It is open. Alrighty. So, what is that?
Oh,
Mouse found. Do you have a mouse out to just pull?
yes, I just pulled the mouse out.
Why did my?
Because I hit the Bluetooth instead of the other thing.
They have.
Oh, it literally popped up on my computer like BTS mouse found.
They have what? Bluetooth mice now.
Mice?
Computers?
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
You see a wire?
Yeah, but I can. You have to. Do you have to like hit the Bluetooth on your computer just in order to connect to the mouse?
Yes, you hook it up that way. And you sync it.
Isn't that kind of like redundant when if you just have a battery, why can't there be like a remote control to the TV? You just Why do you have to be?
It is because somewhere there's a link that had to be set up between the TV and the remote.
Right.
So if you replace your remote, you have to go through the process of linking a new remote to the TV. That's what you do with the.
Yeah, man, they Bluetooth everything now.
You Bluetooth it one time, then every time you turn it on, it works.
All right. So, all right, now I have to play Judge and Shock It. All right.
You know, see, this is where you lost me to like a quarter of it because I didn't know which one was saying what and who was saying who.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah, you got to say, quote, the judge said in quote, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
it's
they can also
read along that way, but you're not going to
change your voice.
I got up and left after like a quarter of it because I just didn't know who was saying what and who.
Yeah, yeah. Or you have to do a voice thing. You know, you have to change your voice depending on who you're going to represent.
Okay.
Well, maybe
can y'all see it? Let me move the screen over.
I'm still trying to get my computer going. Would help if I got a power strip for it.
I would play the judge, but
you put everything back?
Yeah, because I'm not going back.
And I'm tired.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. So here we go. Shh.
I won't say another word.
All right, it's clear. I tried to zoom in as much as I can. All right. So the court says, thank you. You may be seated. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're on the record now in the matter of Hales versus Preston and Cook, case number 124 CV 45. Counsel, please make your appearances. Mr. Shockett. So I was going to say, can I just say, nah. Can I call him Percy?
What's his name?
What's his name?
It's Shockett. It's Randy. No, Randy Shockett.
No.
Randy Shockett?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, counsel, please make your appearances. Shockett says, may it please the court, Randy Shockett, Shockett Law Group, Trenton, Florida, on behalf of plaintiff Jeremy Hales. Court says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Judge. So the judge says, so the case is on the docket here today for several reasons. First, there's a pending motion for sanctions filed by the plaintiff, which was docket number 96. And in that motion, the plaintiff sought, among other things, revocation of Mr. Matskin, defense counsel's pro hoc vice status in this case. And second, and relatedly, the court issued a show cause order, which is docket number 98, requiring Mr. Matskin to show cause today as to why his pro hoc vice status should not be revoked. And then third, March 27, 2025, in docket number 118, the court ordered counsel for both parties to be prepared today to address whether sanctions should be imposed for their repeated abuse of the judicial process, filing of frivolous motions, and overall unprofessionalism. In the court's order, I specifically referred counsel to four motions. First was defendant's motion for reconsideration, which is docket 78. Second was defendant's motion for reconsideration, which is docket 82. And third is plaintiff's motion to dismiss counterclaim, which is docket number 85. And fourth is plaintiff's motion to dismiss counterclaim, which is docket number 86. Obviously, Mr. Matskin is not present here today. The hearing was noticed on March 14th of 2025, and Mr. Matskin was clearly aware of his obligations to be here today. Yesterday, he filed a notice informing the court that he did not plan to attend this hearing. The court issued an order yesterday afternoon stating that the hearing would go forward and refusing to excuse Mr. Matskin's attendance at the hearing. He was required to be here today and obviously is not. Mr. Shockett, you may not be aware of this because it just happened, but shortly before I took the bench, I received a notice, a motion to withdraw as counsel from Mr. Matskin, which is docket number 126, where he seeks leave to withdraw from his representation of defendants in this case. But pursuant to local rule number 11.1, an attorney who has entered an appearance in a case must have leave of court to withdraw, and the court must grant that. So the court has obviously not granted that motion to withdraw, and so Mr. Matskin still remains counsel in this case at this time and has no excuse for not being here today. But that willful failure to appear by Mr. Matskin is not going to prevent us from going forward here today, at least in part. The hearing was scheduled for a number of reasons, as I mentioned, and one of those was to allow counsel, including Mr. Matskin, to show cause as to why sanctions should not be imposed, including Mr. Matskin's case, the possible revocation of his pro hoc vice status. And this hearing was designed as an opportunity to provide him with the ability to be heard with respect to those issues. And just to be clear, the purpose of the hearing is for the court to decide what action it is going to take. The court had not decided what action it was going to take, and that's why the hearing was here, is for the court to provide the parties with their opportunity to be heard. The law requires notice and an opportunity to be heard before the court takes action, and today was scheduled as the notice and opportunity to be heard, I previously provided the notice, and today was the opportunity to be heard. And given Mr. Matskin's absence, I can't hear from him regarding whether sanctions should be imposed against him or whether his pro hoc vice status should be revoked. I will separately address in a written order the issue of sanctions against Mr. Matskin and the issue of his pro hoc vice status. And since Mr. Shockley is here, I'll turn to you, Mr. Shockley, and we'll talk about the issues that I identified or asked you to be prepared to discuss with respect to dockets 85 and 86. So if you want to come to the podium, please, Mr. Shockley, we'll talk through those issues. Shockley says, the podium? Judge says, yes. Okay, sure. Judge says, so, Mr. Shockley, I noticed dockets 85 and 86, which were motions to dismiss counterclaims, and I've ordered you to show cause as to why sanctions shouldn't be imposed on Rule 11 for the filing of those motions. And so I'll allow you to provide to me why you think a sanction shouldn't be imposed, but I've got questions. And so, he says, Shockley said, okay. I'm going to ask you my questions, and then your answers to my questions may cover what it is that you were wanting to say. And if it doesn't, I'm going to give you that opportunity, okay? Thank you, Judge. Sure. It's so funny because Shockley's like such an ass kisser here, but it's funny. All right. So the judge says, okay, so the problem that I have with those motions from a Rule 11 perspective is those motions were filed by the plaintiff, Jeremy Hales, who is a party to this action, but yet the motions claim to seek dismissal of counterclaims against you, plaintiff's counsel. Shockley nods his head. The judge says, the motion doesn't cite any case law. The motion has a couple of stray cites to some jurisdictional statutes and one cite to Rule 13 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. It contains virtually no analysis and doesn't direct me to any authority to support the request that you've made. But more fundamentally, and this is really the question I want to ask is, what basis did you have to believe that Mr. Hales, as the plaintiff, could somehow seek dismissal of a counterclaim that you believe somehow had been brought against you who was not a party to the action? So Shockley says, thanks, Judge. So we look at it. I don't have it with me, but I know the counterclaims very well. There was no statement of the parties. There was no jurisdictional statement. There were allegations in the complaint. That's the only one left now. And that was the same. That's the same one that still is active. The judge says, a lot of uh-huhs in here. So Shockley says, something about me and my client conspiring, and this is under intentional infliction of emotional distress. The judge says, correct, it's count one of the counterclaim. So Shockley says, so there are allegations against me and I'm conspiring with my client to do something, and it's a tort which involves outrageousness, and you know what that tort is. And then there's a second paragraph allegation against me, and so I'm being alleged things. There was even no addendum clause. So the judge says, so even if that's right, how can Mr. Hales move to dismiss a counter if you believe that? Shockley said, right. So the judge says, how can Mr. Hales, through you, his attorney, move to dismiss a counterclaim brought against another person? So Shockley says, because it was a jurisdictional issue. And then Shockley says, because now there's no jurisdictional statement that would have clarified it. Statement of the parties, the addendum clause would have said, I'm suing Jeremy Hales for X number of dollars. There's no addendum. So the judge says, was any motion filed under Rule 13H to add an additional party, which is what's required when you're going to add an additional party by virtue of counterclaim? Oopsie, something fell.
Yeah, but I don't know what it was.
I don't know.
It's not my phone.
I don't know. So Shockley says there was no motion. So the judge says, okay. And Shockley says, on that. Judge says, okay, were you served with the summons in this case? Shockley says, I was not. So the judge says, okay, and isn't it well established that if you want to name an additional party in a case as a counterclaim party, that you have to serve that party? Shaka said, you would think. I don't know if a summons was coming, but you would think. Anyway.
Why does it sound like he was being thick in the head?
Yeah. He's being thick and he's also being cocky. You'll see. But and also kiss assy. So it's funny. Anyway, but he won't shut up about this thing. You just got to listen. So the judge says, but so none of those things had happened. And I'll be honest, when I got your motion, what?
My set of batteries fell out. Now I gotta find them.
Oh, okay. Well, I have some if you need some.
No, you don't. They're vape batteries.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure you do not have vape batteries.
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
And these are my rechargeable vape batteries. So
okay, so the judge says, so none of those things had happened. And I'll be honest, when I got your motion, because of the way this case has been litigated, I just shook my head as here we go again. And he goes, I know. Shaka says, I know. The judge says, because I read the, what is going on? Hold on. There we go. Because I read the counterclaim, I read the answer and the counterclaim when it was filed. I didn't see a counterclaim against you. And Shaka nods his head. You filed a motion. You filed several motions previous to that, which were, I think, were motions for summary judgment, which I said should not have been filed. Those.
Did you eat my butter pecan ice cream?
No, just
really?
Okay. Those motions were on behalf of Mr. Hales, and they were aimed at those counterclaims. And then very soon after, I strike those. You filed this motion, and I said, I looked at it, and I looked at what is he doing. There's no counterclaim against him. And then Mr. Matkin responds and says, I didn't bring a counterclaim against him. So from a Rule 11 perspective, what was the legal or factual basis for you to believe that a counterclaim had actually been asserted against you that you could move to dismiss that counterclaim? Shaka says, okay, Judge, I just said it. You had allegations against someone that's not in the case. Judge says, okay. And Shaka says, and so why is that appropriate? Why are the allegations against, and then the judge says, maybe it's not appropriate. And Shaka says, okay. And the judge says, and maybe you file some other type of motion, but you can't. A motion to dismiss a counterclaim presumes there's a counterclaim. There's only one way you could bring a counterclaim to add an additional party is file a motion to add an additional party, serve that additional party. That person is then added to the docket. Then that person files a motion to dismiss. And Shaka says, I understand, Judge, but I understand. But so the judge says, so the problem here is, and this is why I'm so frustrated with this case. Ms. Shaka says, I see your frustration and understand. This is where he's like ass kissing when he says these things.
So Shaka filed a motion to dismiss a claim. The counterclaim against him when he wasn't
even a party of the case.
Uh-huh. So there was no motion against him.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And that's why the judge is like, what the you'll hear what the judge says, but anyway, Shaka keeps trying to make his point. Right.
The point is you filed something that you shouldn't have filed because it has nothing to do with you.
Right. And what Shaka does, he tries to make it like Bruce did this, Bruce did that. Have you counted the motions? Well, I counted the motions, and Bruce only has 3 more than you, and it happens to be within the last 2 weeks. One of them is a motion to vacate the judge. Another one's a response. So it's like you both have the same amount of filings. What are you talking about? So they're kind of making them, the judge has got this though. Right here, the judge has got this.
I'm just kind of confused. Yeah, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
So anyway.
It has me confuzzled.
So Shaka says, I see your frustration and I understand. So the judge says, you guys don't appear to understand that I have hundreds of cases and you two consume an inordinate amount of time and my staff's time. I know your case number by heart. And he gives the case number, because I have to type orders in that case all the time. And what I see is, and you're as guilty of it as Mr. Matskin is we've got one second, I'm stuck. Okay. What I see is, and you're as guilty of it as Mr. Matskin is we've got not just one motion to dismiss, we got first all these motions for summary judgment that get filed. Why are we filing a multitude of motions for summary judgment right after a counterclaim is filed when we know that we're going to have a summary judgment deadline? I strike all of those. So Chuck says, can I be heard on that one, Judge? He goes, you can in a minute. Judge says, I strike all of those. And then right after I strike all of those, here's my next volley of new motions. And then I rule upon those, and here's my next volley of new motions. And I just do not understand what you're trying to accomplish here. If you're trying to pursue a case on behalf of your client to obtain relief for your client, that way you, the way that you do that is you go to a trial and we have a jury decide the case. If you look at a case that goes to trial where it has lawyers who are doing their jobs for your client, there might be 50 docket entries in that case at most. I'm at 125, and we're not even through discovery. And some of that is Mr. Matskin's fault, and some of it is yours. And he's not here, and you are. So tell me, I'm trying to understand why. And Ms. Shaka goes, I know. So, Mike, I'm sorry, my screen keeps popping up some window. Okay. So the judge says, or what's the point of filing those motions? What? And Shaka says, I really want to respond. He goes, yeah, I'm going to give you an opportunity. So Shaka says, if you recall at the beginning of this case, they did that. And I had to respond to the summary judgment that was filed instamatically. Judge says, yep. And Shaka says, and so he's trying to say you don't have evidence, you know the standard for all this. Judge says, I know. Randy says, it's a very high standard. And the court says, and I denied it. Right, Randy says, I know you did, but it was allowed. And goes, and how was it allowed? I denied it. I denied it. Randy says, you denied it after I responded, Judge. And court says, Judge says, yes. So Randy says, and it took a few months to deny it. And the judge says, okay. And Randy says, so again, it was, and I think you had said maybe on the record or off the record. So if you said it off the record, that doesn't mean anything. Okay. I was just wondering if they had the friendship.
If you said it off the record, that means they're socializing.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. So maybe you said it on the record or off the record, that the chances of something like that being granted are like 99% million. Forget it, against it. But it was done to say you don't have any evidence, and they didn't, and they don't. So the judge says, but you said, and again, those motions are not specifically here. I didn't notice those as part of what we're going to talk about. Randy says, right. So the judge says, but I looked at them in preparation for the hearing, and one of the things you say in there is, there are no genuine, of course there are. I sit here and I look at what is alleged in this case. Your client says that they did these things, and they said that they didn't. And so Randy says, but it's a slap. It's an anti-slap defense. What? Where does that come? Okay, hold on. Let's keep going. So the judge says, okay, and you've got that motion. That's a separate issue of whether or not this case should be decided at summary judgment stage, right? Shaka goes, okay. So the judge says, we have a factual dispute. There are, I just don't see any way that summary judgment is going to resolve this case when Mr. Hales said they placed these signs out there. They said these things, they did these things, and they say they didn't do those things. That's what we have juries for, which is kind of odd because if he has no evidence proving it, why is he acting like, it's a good case to take to a jury? You know what I mean? Like, that's weird. It's a little off. Why isn't, hello, I'm sorry. I think you're wrong there, Judge. But anyway, so what? It would be in everyone's best interest if we could just get to that point. And then Randy says, well, I don't know what's going to happen to the motion to withdraw, but I can tell you, Judge, and this was from the heart here. That guy has heart. Your experience with this, and I haven't done the math, but I can almost guarantee you it's a much higher percentage of filings from the other side. No, it's not. Go look at them. So the judge says there's a lot on, and he goes, which I have to respond to those filings, Judge. When he files something, I have to respond. So the judge says, but I also, there's also attached into document 117. So Shaka says 117, which is the one that he did not oppose and do nothing with, and he had a deadline to do it. Okay. And this order that the judge came out late afternoon of that day, and that's the day that Randy was supposed to oppose it. And it's a motion to dismiss. So it wasn't opposed. So the question was, did this 117 come up in here? And here it is, right here. And it doesn't say shit. But anyway, so, there's also attached to it document 17. So Randy says 117, I don't know. So just there's a whole bunch of your emails, pages and pages of them, and I don't like them. So Shaka says, I don't like them either, but I would tell you those are excerpts. You don't see the whole emails. Judge says, that may be true, but I don't like them. And Shaka says, I will never. The emotions that the court is going under, you have to. I hope you understand I'm going under also. So he's trying to say that he's as frustrated as the judge is with Bruce.
Oh, please. Mm-hmm. Him talking about Bruce putting excerpts of emails. Mm-hmm. He took an email that Bruce did not write.
In this case.
Took something out of the email and tried to blame it on Bruce.
Right. Not only that, there's emails where Bruce is being the professional lawyer and requesting things of the opposing lawyer. That's, normal stuff that goes on between lawyers, in a court case, right? And Randy doesn't provide the information. He stalls. He halts the thing, and he's like, "What?" Because this guy can never just freaking respond properly. And that's what he's doing. It's all stall tactics to make this thing go. What is that called? Pull him up. So, but he's sitting there like acting like I understand. I'm going through the same thing. Anyway, so the judge says, but you threw out this, you stir the pot. Tells him, you stir the pot. Well, guess what, guys? In this whole entire case, who stirs the pot? Who creates the bullshit? Jeremy. So anyway, so he tells him, you stir the pot. So Randy says, okay, please tell me how, Judge. So Judge says, we're in the middle of this lawsuit and you file an amended complaint to sue their lawyer. Randy nods his head. The judge says, there is no purpose to do that other than to stir the pot and instigate conflict. You knew it wasn't. You knew I wasn't going to allow you to sue their lawyer in an action which they are represented because there is no way that the lawsuit can go forward with that lawyer serving as both the lawyer and party. You knew that. There's no way around that. You can't have a lawsuit go forward where you sue the defense lawyer. The defendants are there, and a jury is supposed to be like, okay, now you're a defense lawyer, now you're not, now you're a party, now you're on the stand, now you're cross-examining yourself. There was no reason to do that, and it raised all those things, just raised the temperature here. Remember in Jeremy's video, he kept saying the temperature was high. The temperature was high. It's because the judge said it. And all those things just raised the temperature here. And I thought when I got assigned to this case and read the complaint, I thought this is a simple case. We got one plaintiff, two defendants, and the case goes forward to trial. And it is ballooned into this nightmare. Okay. So the judge is completely seeing it's a freaking circus, right? He goes, and maybe it's some of their fault, but it is not my fault. And I thought Jerem said that the judge was taking blame for some of it. He said, but it is not my fault. So Randy said, it is not your fault. And the judge says, but you know who deals with it all the time? Me. And I'm done with it. And Randy nods his head. So the judge says, I'm done with this, gentleman. Right here, my law clerk spending most of his days researching and writing and trying to keep up with the docket in this case. Randy nods his head. Well, and then judge says, because you're not entitled, Mr. Hales is entitled to have a trial in this case, but he is not entitled to monopolize a federal judge's time. Randy says, there's no doubt about it, Judge. And the judge says, so you bear responsibility for that. And Randy says, I do. And the judge says, and I appreciate that you're here, and I appreciate that you're acknowledging some responsibility, but let's go back to those two specific motions. Shaka said, okay. Judge said, and this is a problem I have had with the practice in this case overall, is I get motions and I read them and I say, okay, what cases should I go read? What's the legal? What's the case law in this, or what? And most of the time I get nothing. I don't have any. Your motion to dismiss, does it direct? Does it cite an 11th Circuit case? Randy says, are you talking about this anti-slap? He says, no, I'm talking about the one that we're before right now, the two, document 85 and document 86, the motions to dismiss the counterclaim. Do they cite any 11th Circuit precedent? Randy says, it's just jurisdictional. It's just a jurisdictional argument. You're trying to add a state, someone from Florida to Florida. Judge says, but did you discuss at all in there? Hi, you did? You shaved it?
Yeah, I did. I shaved.
Cool.
Does it look better?
Yes, as long as it's not all gone.
Huh?
You know how I don't like it all gone. Gabe's being silly, guys. I'm sorry. So I need to take a drink. Hold on. And not because Gabe just walked in and shaved.
Because Gabe's flirting with her.
No, I have the 5 o'clock shadow going.
Gabe's flirting with her.
Okay. So, hang on.
Shut up.
No, I just need to breathe. I've been talking so much. Okay. So let's check out the chat. You guys okay over there in the chat? Beardy says, you guys are the cutest couple alive, man. You really are. I would love to find someone, like that, or find a love like that. That's awesome. It makes me cry. No cry. No.
Who said that?
Bearded Fisherman.
Oh, right on.
Gabe, keep it up. Oregon Grandma's like, keep reading. All right, give me a sec. Lisa and Gabe sitting in a tree.
Well, you got to find, you're my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should be here when he starts smooching on her. Sitting there, he leans over.
She's not only my wife, she's my best friend. So.
His wife, his best friend. He'll give her another 20 years.
I was going to say.
He doesn't need to give her more 20 of anything.
Oregon Grandma says, ew. Okay. We're getting interrupted. We're interrupting a court transcript right now for this. Come on now. This is ridiculous. All right. So it sounds silly. I can hear the minions already.
No one cares about your relationship.
They're jealous.
No one gets a rat's ass about your relationship.
They're jealous that their best friend is not their spouse. Their spouse is not their friend.
Does Jeremy and George act like me and her on? Do they interact like we do?
All right, let me keep going. All right, so the judge says, but did you discuss at all in there how it is that you're actually a party and whether or not any case law about how a person who has not been served yet in a lawsuit is a party to a lawsuit? Any case law about how it is that you could have the plaintiff seek dismissal on behalf of someone who has not actually yet been served? Shaka says, no, Judge Bud. He goes, so who's going to do that? Me. You expected to what you're expected to do is file that motion, and then I'm going to have to write an order to go through that and to spend the time to say, here's the legal standard. Here's what it takes to add an additional party. Under Rule 13H, here are the service rules here, and then I'm going to provide all the analysis and the discussion to explain why those motions have no basis in fact or law.
There is no case law for that stupidity. That's what somebody said in there.
So Shaka says, okay, I'm getting it now. What was going on? But I'm Judge. There had been a statement of the parties, and there had been an addendum clause saying, I sue Jeremy Hales for X number of dollars. It wouldn't have happened. Randy said, you had allegations, serious ones, that I'm conspiring with my client. Judge says, And Randy says, and all I needed was an addendum clause. So the judge says, so you think it's a surplusage? Randy says, I don't know what those allegations are now. So the judge says, then you can move to, there are mechanisms to doing. Right. We're going to, that's right. The statement doesn't belong there. So the judge says, but the mechanism is not a motion to dismiss made by Mr. Hales on behalf of his lawyer. Randy said, I talked to her counsel about this. This is, there had been an addendum clause. I'm being accused of an allegation paragraphs in. He goes, Shaka said, and with the count of intentional infliction of emotional distress, that I'm conspiring with somebody. So the judge says, but it's not. It's not as though this is the only case ever where people who are not sued, they're discussed in a complaint. That happens all the time where there are non-parties there are people who can be, you can have a whole narrative in a complaint about a whole bunch of different conduct by a whole bunch of different people, but the plaintiff has decided to sue two of them. And if the two people who are named as the parties and the two people who get served right with the complaint, those are the people who are the parties to the action. You don't become a party to the action because someone uses your name in a complaint. Randy said, well, it was a conspiracy thing, and also if they would just have had an addendum clause saying, we sued Jeremy Hales for X number of dollars, even a statement of the parties, which is required, a jurisdictional statement is required. Judge says, Mr. Shockett, none of those were there. So, and the judge says, and does your motion address any of those issues? Does it raise those issues? Randy said, it raises the issue the jurisdictional argument. You didn't make the statement. You're accusing someone of a conspiracy. Judge says, So Shockett says, and I'm saying, well, if you have this, judge says, Randy says, allegation against me, you can make it here because I'm a Florida resident. Judge says, okay, here's when you said, defendant Preston filed a counterclaim which seeks to add plaintiff's counsel as a party defendant. Where is the how do you add a party? How do you add a party? Randy says, I understand, Judge. And again, if that would have been there, that's specific. Judge says, it doesn't need to be there. I just told you the rule. So Shockett says, right, but he could just file the motion afterwards, right? Isn't it? There's a time deadline here to respond. So the judge says, and you can oppose it. That's what you can. You're right, I can oppose it. Judge says, that's the way this works. If someone wants to add a new party in a counterclaim, they file a motion, they detail that. You could respond and you could say, look, hey, they're trying to add me. They can't do that because I would destroy complete diversity. Randy said, right. And then the judge said, and then they can reply to that and then I can rule on it. Randy said, and if they want to add me, they can go to state court. And judge said, and if they want to, and they got to serve, they have to serve you and do all of those things, and none of which happened here. And again, I go back to my basic reaction and the reaction in my chambers, which we read. We read the counterclaim, and none of us saw you added as a defendant. Randy says, okay, well, Judge says, so. Randy says, if it please the court, I'll accept what you say, whatever you want to do, I will accept it. Judge says, then Randy says, you asked me where I was coming from. So the judge says, yeah, I appreciate. I see allegation of conspiracy is what Randy said. And then the judge says, and again, if it was just those two, if it was those two things in a vacuum, Randy said in a vacuum, yeah. So judge says, but it's not. Everything is considered in context. Shockett said, well, then I wish you would let me, and I wasn't. The judge said, yeah, I'm going to. So basically they're kind of cutting each other off. You know what I mean? So the judge said, yeah, I'm going to let you. I'm going to allow you to say everything you want to say. Randy said, if you want to look at this later, because I was focusing on those two motions today. Judge says, no, those are the two motions. Randy says, right. Judge says, I'm talking about those two motions, but I'm saying if those motions arise within the context of the entire lawsuit. Randy says, absolutely. So the court says, and the context of the entire lawsuit is those are kind of the latest in a flurry of, look at the docket here. Randy said, can I show you something that I was going to show you? Judge says, sure. The docket cam is right there, but let me finish here. Randy said, okay. The judge said, then I'll give you an opportunity, but you got to consider that. Look at the docket here. And I don't know, maybe you aren't on ECF all day long, but I am. And Randy says, yes. Just as any objective observer would take a look at this docket and say, what a disaster. Randy said, I agree, but I have done the math. Court says, there's a lot of stricken besides the things you have filed. And Randy said, excuse me? So the judge says, there's a lot of bold stricken besides a lot of the things that you have filed that I have stricken for for example, you filed an answer and a Rule 12b-6 motion to dismiss. Randy said, and there's a reason for that. And judge says, but you can't do it. You can't do it. Randy said, okay. Court says, a Rule 12b-6 motion has to be filed before the answer. And Randy says, I have something to say about that if I could. Judge says, no, I'm not interested in hearing your explanation because I'm telling you. I'm not sanctioning you for that. I'm telling you, you can't do that. And Randy said, okay. So the judge says, and so that's just an example of how this docket, everything just gets ballooned. And what any reasonable observer of that docket would also say is, I have been way too patient, and probably the reason why the docket has gotten the way it is, I've given you guys too much leeway. And look, I have never had a situation before where I threaten people with sanctions and they don't stop. Randy says, well, your threats was taken seriously. Well, here we are, says the judge. Randy says, well, your motion that started this one said, do not name call and you won't find one example. Yeah, but you do a lot of, and then Randy said, of me doing that. The judge says, you do a lot of threatening of getting me involved, and the emails attached to that one document, I don't like any of them. Randy said, also tell him, please, don't disparage people. Yeah. I say, please don't do this. I'm trying, Judge, to educate my friend who's a member of the bar in Connecticut and Massachusetts. I'm trying to educate him. Please, this is not proper. I could show you a lot of emails. You're not seeing them. Well, I'm sure of that. I believe it. Most of them are teaching emails from me, teachable moments. Judge says, right. Well, some of the stuff, this is not let me read you one. This is not a teachable email. Randy says, okay. Judge says, okay. Wow, you really obviously don't know how to research. I do know the cases. And since you are not even licensed to practice law in Florida, I don't think it's my responsibility to tell you the cases, but you might want to start with the Supreme Court of Florida on this exact point. That's it. I'm not going to do your research for you. You are 1,000%, 1,000,000% wrong on this. Just asking you this counterintuitively, I will ask you a rhetorical question. Why do you think the 21 days is there if it doesn't have any effect? Check that out with the Supreme Court of Florida. That's a teaching email? The judge said to Shaka. Shaka said he had sent me law, which is wrong. It's almost like saying Plessy versus Ferguson is valid law. That was the context. Judge said, okay. Shaka said, I'm saying no. Brown versus Board of Education overruled it. Judge said, that's your idea of a teaching email. And Randy said, if you saw the string, Judge says, look, this is, I think I said this to you guys before. This is like talking to my kids. Shaka said, yes. Judge said, well, my 11-year-old does something, and then my 7-year-old reacts. And my 7-year-old reacts and says, well, look, my 11, he did it first. Randy said, yeah. I mean, do you have children? Randy said 3. Judge says, and when they do that, do you say, oh yeah, it's okay. It's totally cool that you did that because they did it earlier. Randy said, no. He goes, but that's what you want me to do, is to say, look, yeah, I see that you did these things, but somebody else did things first. That's what we're supposed. I mean, you wouldn't accept it from your children. I wouldn't accept it from mine, but you want me to accept it from you. So Randy said, I don't. And if he's going to be withdrawn, Judge, please give me a second chance. The court.
So he just is begging the judge.
Yeah. So the judge says, I've already done that. Okay. I sat here and did a redeposition 2.5 hours of my life that I will not get back because you guys couldn't do a deposition on your own. Well, we've taken some now and haven't had any issues. He took one, Amanda Martin.
You know what?
What?
My stomach's probably feeling a little better right now. It has been. Because I took 2 of those, what do they call them? Ozempic? Is that what it's called?
Should only take 1.
What is it?
Ozempic. No, not Ozempic. Oh my God. Aleprazam or something like that. What is it? Azaprolam? Whatever.
I don't know.
It's a stomach thing.
It's for your stuff like acid.
Unless I see it, I can't tell you.
Aprazolam or something like that.
I don't know.
I forget what meds out there.
He took 2 depots.
I took 2 yesterday, and I'm like,
Omeprazole. Thank you.
Yeah,
Omeprazole.
And I couldn't figure out why my stomach was up because I ate a bunch of junk today, and my stomach feels fine. So
right.
I remember I took two of those last night. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
So anyway, so he says you guys couldn't do the deposition on your own. Shaka says, well, we've taken some now that we haven't had any issues. And the only one, like I said, was Amanda Martin, right? Which was a joke. Okay. So the court judge said, good. Shaka said, yeah. So the judge said, but let me just, while I've got you here, and I know you're getting beat up on because the other person is not here. Randy says, that's fine. Judge says, but the Mr. Paget thing, Zim, you tell me, you moved to say they didn't confer with me, deny the motion, and I did because they didn't satisfy the meet and confer requirement. But then I look back and, there had been a discussion about scheduling a deposition, and then it's like, now we're not. And Randy says, but I give them dates. I said we're available this day. So the judge says, yeah, I know. What I'm saying is that, but then it looks like you're not assisting at all and helping to conduct the deposition. I'm just using that as an example. That's what Randy done to Bruce the whole time. He's not assisting, which is what they're supposed to be doing when they're conferring, right?
Yeah, two lawyers, even though they're on opposite sides of the case, they can usually work together to come to a common ground. And
Randy made it almost impossible. Okay, because I can't tell you how many times, like, oh my God, this guy.
Even the judge was like,
I think they don't want Zim to be deposed.
No, they don't.
Was like, I've never seen this before. Two lawyers.
They don't.
Lawyers.
Hearsay says he does not want to go to court over this at all. Hearsay says. Anyway, so he, that's probably why he wasn't, purposely in places to get served. Anyway, so the judge says he was just using that as an example. Randy said, right. So the judge says, where, all I'm trying to get you to see, Mr. Shockett, is I've got a lot of cases, and in almost all those cases, the lawyers have to deal with the same. They have the same types of requirements. They have to depose people. They have to do all these things, and I don't hear about it. Randy says, well, there's a lot you haven't heard about. Judge says, yeah, but I'm saying those lawyers, they figure it out. So Randy says, I can figure it out with anyone else, Judge, and the stuff I wanted to show you. It's like anybody else but Bruce. Yeah. Anybody else but Bruce.
Yeah.
So the judge says, yeah, you'll get the chance. But what I'm saying, though, is if you think it's going to get easier now that there's a pro se party, potentially pro se parties involved, I don't know that it's necessarily true. And so I think you have got to figure out a way that you can't keep filing stuff like these motions, because I'm not that affects the court, and that affects the resource. You are using the resources of the court. And I'm looking at a motion to dismiss counterclaims going, there are no counterclaims. There are no counterclaims. He's not been served. There's no motion to add him to this party. Why is he filing two motions to dismiss? And so he says, well, there are duplicates, and the judge says, yeah, they don't have to be filed that way. You could file one motion on behalf of both as it relates to both defendants. And I'm just trying to figure out what, again, that's just an example we have before us, so there's just no need to do it. Randy says, and I agree, Judge. So the judge said, when I sit back here, and I'm not involved in everything that you are, when I sit back here and I look at the docket and I see this stuff happening, I see that those two motions come in with no factual or legal basis. I see others coming from the other side with no factual or legal basis. And then I see others come in from this side, and it just looks like, Randy says, I get it. And the judge says, so go ahead and show me what you want to show me, but we can turn the document camera on, or you can give them to the clerk. Randy says, well, I'll show it, but anyway, this is funny. I'll show it, but it's at the risk of it's almost at a moot point, but yeah, I'll show it because you don't have it. Judge says, okay. Randy says, and I was going to bring it out. So the judge says, this is your opportunity. So whatever you want to show. He said, well, it doesn't relate to those dismissals, but yeah. So if you notice from Mr. Matskin, these are, the judge says you can use that right there. The deputy, would you like me to use so they're trying to put it on the camera. Okay. Or you want to, sure, you should be able to put it right on there. What you're going to see, maybe I don't. And the judge says, what's that? Randy says, what you're about to see, maybe I don't want to publish it, but you'll see. Is it face up? Judge says, it comes to me. So Shaka says, face up. And he says, yeah. He's okay. I can't see. Maybe you can. Can you see the whole thing now? Yes, I can see it. So if you notice in the items, with one which he didn't respond to, Mr. Matskin about the counsel, he goes, uh-huh. It was not a typo. This one example of, and it's not on Facebook, he routinely in our phone calls would say, Counsel, are you available?
Bruce said that?
he said it was a typo in one of the emails. I don't know. But you know what? If he did call him Counsel, it'd be totally true.
Hilarious.
But it is funny. Anyway, he goes, here's another one. There's a picture on. This is just bullshit.
The judge probably
are you kidding
reread
right
that,
now?
probably laughed.
How old are you? And like, oh, so your client doesn't have to call a lawyer by his, last name when he's requesting you to call him by his last name, and yet you're worried about the word counsel. Okay. Anyway, so here's another one, and there's a picture on this. This is you could Google this. So it just says, yeah. Shaka says they have one. Okay, this is it. He goes, they have one with this Polymop, which is not an acronym that anyone knows about, with me wearing a crown. So judge goes, uh-huh. He goes, and they took it down after you set this hearing. Judge goes, uh-huh. I'm so sorry. I'm so glad he brought this up. So Randy says, here's another one. This is a counsel and an email you didn't see. And he also attacks my client, calling him an extremely petty person. Really? And I want this case heard, Judge. I can tell you that this is the only sampling of what is out there, though it's not focusing. So Judge is right. There's a little focus. The thing on top, it's like a knob. Shaka says, yes. So they're trying to adjust the camera. Right there, that will focus it. We're in. So Shaka says, okay, this was before August 3rd. I want to destroy this man and his YouTube empire. That is the goal. Destroy Jeremy Hales legally. I'm just giving you like a coming attraction of a movie. Did he miss the part where it says this is the goal, destroy Jeremy Hales legally? Based on, it says legally, right? And based on everything that Jeremy Hales has said, what, you're upset because he said he's going to destroy him legally? Because Jeremy has been basically doing a whole bunch of illegal things. Why is that a shocker here? But he's bringing it up to the judge like it's like, oh my God, bad boy Matskin. Anyway, so now we got to remember Bruce wasn't there to even say anything about it, so he's just taking what Shaka says, as face value, I guess. So anyway, so the judge says, yeah. Shaka, it says of what's out there, and the judge says, and I'm. Shaka says, and he also kept saying he wants to take my deposition. So when the counterclaim came, I go, okay, now I see his conspiracy. Judge says, yeah, I'm going to deal with all that. Randy said, okay, I apologize to the court if I reacted like I'm being accused of something. Yeah, you did act like that. Judge says, what I'm trying to get to you to see is because I'm removed from your daily interaction, and it's just sometimes when you're involved in something, you don't see it the same way as some neutral party who is not privy to all of that sees it, right? You see something different. And what I see is tit for tat. And what I see is you sue him, and then he says nasty stuff about you, but there's you naming him as, trying to file an amended complaint that named him as, well, you actually did name him as a party in an amended complaint. Do you see how that looks? And Randy said, Judge, let me ask you a question just rhetorically. Can a client use their attorney, especially in a defamation case, in a tortious interference case, to continually to defame and tortiously interfere? Judge says, yeah, well, I think that's why you can have another action. Shaka says, okay, but I was trying to combine them. Judge says, yeah, and he says, and I hope you saw the email to whatnot. Judge says, yeah, and again, I'm not getting all that. I'm just trying to get you to see what it looks like. So Randy says, I do see what it looks like. You have no idea, Judge. Please understand. I understand. Judge says, yeah. Shaka says, and half these sockets are my responses to him. Yeah. And I understand that's what you asked me, what I was thinking about. Yeah. I'll give you a context. I see a conspiracy. I see someone want to take my deposition around the same time, still even 3 days before this happened, asking me for a deposition dates. What I don't get here is he tried to add Bruce to the case and make him a defendant. He told Bruce he was going to depo him, and now he's freaking out in front of the judge that Bruce may have said he was going to do that to him when he didn't. Are you kidding me? Anyway, so that's what he's trying to make the judge think. Anyway, while he was there and Bruce wasn't. So the judge says yes. Shaka says so. The judge says, my responsibility here. Sorry, guys. My responsibility is to first ensure that litigants in a case get their opportunity to have their case tried in front of a fair and impartial tribunal. Right? That's what we're trying to do. Randy says yes. Judge says, I have an obligation to make sure that the judicial system is not abused and that the resources of the court are not unnecessarily diverted to frivolous and malicious and unnecessary litigation. I also have an obligation to ensure that officers of the court behave appropriately and don't abuse the privilege that they've been given to appear in front of the court and to litigate cases in federal court. It is not a right, it is a privilege. And I've just really struggled here because I've been on the bench for, a little over 2 years, but I've been a lawyer for about 18 in a lot of different contexts. And I've just never seen anything like this. And maybe you haven't either. I don't know. And Randy says, I haven't. The judge says, but you do bear some responsibility for it. And Randy says, I do. So the judge says, and if what you want here is for this case to go forward and for this case to get to trial, then you are responsible for your conduct. You're responsible for how you respond to somebody else. Randy says, yes. Judge says, and you're responsible for what you push send on, and you're responsible for what documents you filed. Randy nods his head. Judge says, and my assessment at this point is that you haven't exercised that responsibly. And I'm not saying that this isn't a comparative negligence type situation where I assign degrees of fault. Randy said, right. But I want you to understand that I'm not pleased, and I've said that before, but today is the day that, sanctions are going to be imposed. And if it continues, they will continue to be imposed. Randy says, it won't, Judge. And the judge says, and we've got this other litigation going on too. Whoops. And Randy says, Judge, did you see that one? By the way, Attorney Gage, he and I are just as professional as can be. Randy says, Judge says, yeah. And Randy says, we confer. And Judge says, I hope that maintains. I hope that continues. And he says, of course it is. And of course it will. I see you disagree, but I have to tell you. Judge says, yeah, and then Randy says, whoops, hold on. Of course it will. Sorry, I lost it for a second. Judge, if you looked at, I'm not going to be filing motions against pro se parties. Did he just say that? I'm not going to be filing motions against pro se parties.
Awesome.
Did he just file default judgment against 3 people when the same judge, ordered him to? You weren't here early when I mentioned that. I'll tell you about that later. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. I mentioned it earlier. Anyway, so the judge says, Randy says, like anything like this. And I wanted to say this because you used the word yesterday, absurd. Yesterday?
Huh.
Hold on.
So they were socializing the day before.
Yeah.
Huh.
How is that? Like anything like this. So this is April 3rd. So the day before he talked to him, and I wanted to say anything. Maybe it was no, I don't think so. Day before? Huh. Anyway, I've used that word in emails. Judge says, So Shock says, to his sometimes allegations or comments. So when you said that, that's the word I have used. You haven't seen the emails. Judge says, Shocker says, it is, you already ruled. I respect that. Judge says, but again, I'm saying, though, you don't have to do things like sue him, try to amend the complaint to sue him in this case. I mean, you know that any rational lawyer in that situation is going to react negatively to that. But you're representing your client, Judge. I mean, you can file another lawsuit. He goes, we did that. He goes, yes, but after I told you no, which you knew was going to happen. As I remember, Judge, you said you would like that to happen if you are the other lawyer. He says, yeah. I said no, Randy said. Judge said, and I'm sure if someone did it that you may have unkind things to say. Randy said, I mean what? Sorry, I didn't hear. Judge said, you may have unkind things to say if someone tried to do that to you. Randy said, right. He goes, and there's responsibility. And we could have litigated this entire case without that. And all that did was ratchet the temperature way up. There's that temperature word again. And going forward, whether you are litigating in this case against Ms. Preston and Mr. Cook proceeding pro se, or whether they have counsel who comes in, my expectation is that your motions are supported by citations to case law, contain analysis, help me resolve the issue presented, and have a basis in fact and law, and are not filed because you have an emotional reaction to what you think someone else is trying to do. But instead, you step back and say, well, they can't. They haven't added me as a party. They haven't moved to do this. I haven't been served. I don't have any basis to file this motion to bother the judge with these motions. Randy said, I hear what you're saying, Judge. So Judge says, okay, what else do you want to say? This is your opportunity to. Randy said, we do have, obviously you said no further motions until this hearing. I have very lengthy discovery motion that I've been sitting on. Actually was going to file that next day. He said, yeah. And Randy said, I need to file it. I don't know where we are with. He goes, well, there's a pending motion to withdraw. Right. So I said, he goes, and I haven't ruled on that. So the likelihood is that there will be a stay in the case anyway, because he knows about the 1, 2, 3, which is the motion to vacate.
1, 3, 2. 1, 3, 2.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3 or 1, 3, 2?
1, 2, 3. Did I say 1, 3, 2? It's 1, 2, 3. And I haven't ruled on that, so that's likelihood that there will be a stay in the case anyway. Randy said okay. The court, because counsel will have to be obtained for the other side. So Shaka said, so should I wait till the stay and the judge said, I say no motions filed till today. Right, I'm ready to file like with a push of a button. It better be. And then Randy said, it's very lengthy, 11 exhibits. It's just I had letters, deficiency letters about discovery to him attached. Well, I think what I would say is, have you talked to Miss Preston and Mr. Cook about it? Shaka said, I didn't. He goes, yeah, no, I'm just saying, I'm asking because you need to confer. You need to have a meet and confer. Randy said, no, I haven't conferred because he's still their lawyer now officially. I've conferred with him. So the judge says, so I just wait. So Randy said, okay, then you will give us a discovery deadline if we're going to pause everything. Judge says, yeah, we're going to pause everything. Randy said, so that means the discovery deadline is paused. Judge says, everything is going to be paused. Randy said, okay. Of course, says if he's withdrawn. Randy says, Judge, I will accept everything you say, any sanction you want to give. Judge says, I just want you. I'm really at my limit. Randy said, I see that. And the judge said, because it's just it has become a tremendous burden on me and my staff. Randy said, I apologize to the judiciary law clerk. The judge said, it's a daily, almost probably a daily task, and you're not 100. You don't bear all responsibility for that, but you bear some of it. Randy said, you said no more motions. How many files since you filed? Yeah, I understand that. Like I said, we're going, and he said, not one by me. The court said, yeah, we're going to deal with it. Randy said, okay, but what I have in front of me right now are the 2 that you filed. Randy said, I understand. So the judge says, and I find no factual or legal basis for them because I've explained there was no legal basis to believe that his counterclaim had been filed against you. There was no motion to add additional parties. There was no indication elsewhere in the counterclaims that they were adding you to as a party. They listed your name, but there was no identification of parties, including you. You were not served with a summons, which would officially make you a party in the case. And from a legal perspective, there's no legal basis to file a motion to dismiss when you have not legally been identified and named and served as a party. And so I find that was a violation of Rule 11, and I'm going to impose sanctions for it. The sanctions that are going to be imposed are personal to you. And Randy said, I understand. The court says they are not sanctions on Mr. Hales. It wasn't his decision to file those motions. It was yours. And so the sanctions are going to be imposed upon you, and the sanctions are going to be $2,000 per motion. And so it's a $4,000 sanctions payable to the clerk of the United States District Court. You should pay that as soon as you can. If you can pay it today, great. Go down and pay it. If you need more time, you let me know. Randy said, I can see that. I actually brought my checkbook. I couldn't bring my laptop. Okay, all right. So yeah, Randy said, so it's in my briefcase. Judge said, you take care of it as soon as you can. And this is the first time, I've been on the bench 2 years. This is the first time I've sanctioned a lawyer under Rule 11. Randy nodded his head. Of course, I've sanctioned a pro se party under Rule 11, and I've issued attorney's fees under the mandatory attorney's fees provision of the discovery rules. Never sanctioned a lawyer under Rule 11. I've never had a show cause hearing to sanction lawyers. I don't want to do it. I think that it is not enjoyable, and it's not something that I don't want to be known as a judge that does that, because there are, I know it's hard to practice law. That's why I try to be patient here and not doing it sooner. I recognize the practice of law is difficult and that people make mistakes and their emotions can be involved. And that's why I tried to just give warnings and let things go. But I failed in that respect. I recognize that some of the reason why the docket looks like it does is because I didn't do this sooner. And so I take no pleasure in doing it. I appreciate your candor, your willingness to be here and to accept responsibility, even if you don't necessarily agree, but to at least acknowledge and accept responsibility to make a pledge to do better going forward. And so I hope that this is not something that we do again. Randy said, I can tell you I'm relieved. The judge said, okay. And he said, of the withdrawal motion, I'm so happy. Judge said, well, Tucker says, about it in that sense. Well, I mean, but Randy says, you don't know the half of it, Judge. He goes, well, I understand that, but I have no, look, again, I'm not interested in your squabbling, right? I want this case to go forward. I want us to get to trial, and I want the case to be off my docket. Well, shit, dismiss the damn thing. He's got no proof of nothing. And he should have known that by now. You know what I mean? It's literally in the depot. The tortious interference should have been removed already, and it's the signs thing. And he even recognized it because he mentioned it earlier. It's about the signs. Anyway, so Randy nodded his head. The court judge said, "That's what I want." And so Randy says, "Brief question." He says, "Yeah." He goes, "And I think maybe you can see it down the road. I saw the district judge say these cases are closely related. Do we want to have?" Now it's relief now from this issue of maybe we need to consolidate for trial. Judge said, yeah, not my decision. I mean, you have to make a motion. And he goes, well, the answer is not. We're not done yet is the other. Judge said, yeah, that's something. It's not an issue yet. Yeah. That's something down the road. And Shaka said, actually, I just realized myself we could relieve that issue. Judge said something down the road. So he's talking about the other case is what he's trying to bring up. Randy said, yeah. Judge says, you can raise it. I don't know how it will be taken. No comment on how it will be taken, but you always free to file as a motion. But Randy said it's untimely here. He says, yeah. He goes, anything further? He goes, no, Your Honor. All right. So where we're at now is I've got a rule on the motion to withdraw. I haven't granted it yet. I'm going to issue a separate order with respect to Mr. Matskin. It won't be today. I'm going to write it, so that will come out, and then we'll go forward from there, okay? Randy said, okay, can I ask one? Can we issue them all at once? Can you issue? He goes, what's that? Randy said, all the orders from today. Judge said, if you want me to, why is that? Randy said, I do. Well, you can think why one will be easy is the easy one. I mean, the sanctions is easy. Not knowing something else is coming, we're pausing. I understand you're pausing this case. Yes. Okay, so I'm not going to file a motion I was going to file. I'm just going to wait. Well, yeah, I mean, he's filed a motion to withdraw. I haven't granted it yet, but Randy said, but you are correct. I should confer with her. Once, if he's relieved of his responsibilities as counsel and they are pro se, you shouldn't do, and I issue a stay, then nothing happens for 30 days until she gets counsel, Randy said. Judge said, including talking to her or conferring about anything, because, Randy said, right, the case is going to be stayed. Randy says, so that means the motion, I shouldn't file it because I was talking about him, so it's fine, just as long as you know. Judge said, let's just, it was ready to be filed 3 weeks ago. Let's just pause. Let me get the orders out. Then we'll assess where we are, okay? And hopefully counsel may come in and new counsel may come in which case then you'd need another confer with. Randy said, right. New counsel, okay, understood. Judge said, all right. Anything further? Randy said, nope. Court said, all right, thank you. We will stand in recess. Bailiff said, all right. Proceedings concluded at 1:49 p.m. And there you have it. Why is Gabe saying okay?
He's talking to everybody in chat.
Okay.
He's just carrying on over there.
All right. Is Shaka dense or what? Pretty much. Gabe is definitely bored. That's why he interrupted like 4 times while I was trying to read it. He's trying to get the judge to allow him to continue to pile him up. Exactly. The judge doesn't realize because, look, if Bruce was there, it would have been pointed out. However, the 123 motion that I still have to read to you guys and his response shows who's doing what. Thank you. And why are you going? What happened?
Because Springfield Leatherhead, the Cayman crocodile tails on sale.
Oh.
And they're out.
So it was a lie. Tully's was mentioned in court like germ clam. I wasn't mentioned in court. I just read you the whole transcript.
Huh.
Well, that judge told shock it off, huh? Yep, pretty much.
Since everybody got to see it on the screen as she was reading it, so she didn't do any selective reading.
No, I didn't. We just got interrupted. Which I'm not bitching about, really. I'm just saying it's just kind of funny reading a court case and then Gabe comes in all like mushy stuff. He did infer and then thanked them for showing up. Yeah. Germ said you were, and the judge was pissed, apparently. How was I referred to? I just read what happened.
What I heard was the judge told Shock that he was an idiot doing a bunch of shit he shouldn't be doing.
Oh, in his car video? Huh. Was this today, or you're talking about the car video? Anything besides today is already recorded. Was it today? He didn't mention me at all. It was today. Okay. Tori.
What?
Can you go grab that video? Jeremy's video from today. Anyway, I didn't see it, so at least you were not talking and making jokes like in a deposition with Megan. I did like twice, right? 2-3 times. Is that a kiss?
I was just really confused about
what?
I want to dismiss the claim against me where I'm not in the claim.
Right.
He's supposed to be a freaking lawyer. Does he not have a brain?
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's literally like he's trying to, he's literally just trying to prolong it, right? And that's why he wasn't responding to Bruce appropriately. Like when they're trying to confer, if you, and I'm pretty sure at some point, one day, some of those emails might come forward. You never know. Who knows? Okay. When and if it does, you'll be able to see how Bruce will talk to him as, a normal professional attorney. And then his response is he'll respond saying something other than what Bruce asked him. Like it's just a constant delay, in order to try to cause conflict, which is exactly what the judge said in trying to add Bruce as a lawyer. You purposely did it. You knew I'd deny it, but you purposely did it.
You did it to stir shit up.
You did just stir shit up. You're stirring the pot. You're pissing him off. And he clearly saw that. And how would you react if someone's trying to add you as a defendant in a case? Like that, this is ridiculous. They're trying to do everything that they can to get Bruce off the case, which is why they're jumping for joy and all this. But look, this whole thrill of Bruce not being on the case right now is going to backfire on them. Mm-hmm. Because Bruce threw some mic drops out there. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be brought up, even if the judge tries to ignore those mic drops because Bruce is not on the case anymore. It's going to be brought up. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, anyway, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I actually have to take a second because I got to go to the ladies' room. Do you mind? I'll be right back. Tori's got to talk to you guys.
So if I can't see who's saying what at this moment, I'm doing the other thing you have to do.
All right.
Hold on. Let me get over here.
It's like fasting. I literally had to get up and run. I'll be right back.
Hi, everyone. Robbie, I think I heard you bleep on her computer, and if you did, then just hold on a minute. I guess I could walk to her computer and let Robbie in, though. That was him. Hold on a second. Let me see if that was Robbie trying to bleep in. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. If I can't see it clearly on the screen, which I can. Robbie.
Hello. Can I stop holding on now?
Yes, you can stop holding on.
Okay. It was getting tiring.
Right there, so I didn't have to mess with anything on her computer. I
Gotcha.
could see where you were in the backstage, so I just clicked it, and she could fuss at me later. But I didn't have to mess with. Hey, did you guys see that Bruce? Hey, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce. What's happening? Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. That was crazy. I was just sitting there watching it and reading as she was scrolling. This is insane.
No, she was originally going to do 1, 2, 3. I let Robbie in.
Oh, okay.
I heard it go bleep, and so I went over there, since it was right there on the screen, I just said go.
Hey, Robbie.
She was going to do 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
But everybody else wanted to see this.
What is Bruce saying? I thought you were going to do 1, 2, 3.
He said, false advertising. False advertising.
I told them I had 2 to read. They wanted me to read 1, so.
Hi, Bearded.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
I got everybody saying hi to me, so. All right, Mike. I did it. See that? I'm good. Hi, Ogie.
Bruce, this is insane.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Hannah.
Well, trust me, guys. You got to hear the 1, 2, 3 motion. These are mic drops by Bruce. You know, Bruce is no longer on the case, and this is what he left them with. And trust me, it's a doozy. So, and I really believe, because the motion to stay was put out there before the withdrawal was addressed. He already put the motion to stay out there, and he knew, because he knew what was going to happen with the motion to vacate. So I did wash hands. It's still early, Lisa. You may as well read. No, I'm not reading. After all that, I'm not reading the other one. It's 22 pages. This was 46 pages. But this was different. This is bigger writing. It's bigger. Yeah, this was different.
Can you read a minute?
It says it's 45. It's not. I'm sorry. Yes, it is 45 pages, but it's printed differently. So the 123 motion is it's different. There's a lot more to it. So Tori knows how to read.
Tori's not reading.
Tori doesn't like to read online. No. So look at the lemur. Bruce is sleeping a lot better, I'm sure. Look, there's a lot going on, and Bruce is not gone, guys. He's not gone at all. Robbie, did you step on it this morning?
Yeah, it hurt, Kyle.
Sorry. I will definitely read it. I'll start reading it tomorrow night, and then we'll finish up on maybe Friday afternoon. I have a lot to do before we go where we're going tomorrow, and it's just to read both of these. It's like, wow, it's a lot.
Yes, Hannah.
I can't believe Shaka was playing victim with emotional distress. He was like, but Your Honor, and he still wanted to keep talking about it. It's like, dude, you were not a party to this. What? I think he was just taking it off. He knew he wasn't a party to it. He understands what the judge is saying. He knows what's going on. And
oh my God, that was insane.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I was on YouTube listening to you read the whole thing, and I was like, holy smokes.
Yeah, see, he didn't come into StreamYard while you were reading it, therefore he couldn't interrupt you.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't. Because I knew I would sit there and go, what?
Right.
Like I was doing.
Thank you. A little different than what Jerem said. Thank you. Well, I mean, I hope I read it, the way you guys saw it written. You know what I mean? I wasn't driving any.
Oh, I'm sure the judge was a little more heated than you gave it.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Probably. But I read it like, how I felt it was written. It definitely, when I first read it, because that's the second time I read it. So when I first read it, I definitely felt it was a little more heated because I read pieces of it to Gabe.
Like having 2 kids.
Yeah.
And my 11-year-old does something, and the 7-year-old comes up and says, well, the 11-year-old did it, that's why I did it. Are you going to say that's okay?
Yeah, like the emphasis.
As a parent and a grandparent, I could see that. Really? That's how you see this?
Right.
You think
good job, Lisa. Just needed more cowbell.
Oh my God.
Well, maybe I wasn't as angry as the judge. Don't know. Still sounded like he was mad to me. You know what it was? I wasn't trying to overdo it the way that these other idiots read these, motions and judges the way they talk. I'm not trying to overdo it. I'm really trying to read it for what it says. Obviously, he's angry. You could read the anger in it, So
yeah,
I wasn't trying to overdo it. But with what Chocolate was saying, I'm like, he's being cocky and at the same time kissing ass.
He's trying to be cocky and kiss ass, and he's trying to push blame onto Bruce.
Oh, totally.
And it was like, really? You're going to push blame onto someone who's not there to try to take the anger off of you.
Right. And put the blame oh God, by the way, I don't think the judge even liked the fact that he said, I'm relieved that Bruce is withdrawing. I don't think he even liked that.
Yeah.
Do you have to pay attention to the words? And judge is equally angry at both lawyers. That's what it sounds like. It does sound like that.
It does sound like the judge is upset with Bruce.
Right.
But
I think he was more upset with Bruce that Bruce wasn't there.
Right.
Because if Bruce was there, he still would have reamed Shockett for what he did and how he did it. And Bruce would have literally pulled out the emails and showed them. You know what I mean? So, and then this whole, when he, like Jeremy said, once the Palomop thing was brought up, that, the judge, the whole thing tempered down a bit, because they saw something was being done. Well, look, if the judge read Bruce's motions, he knows what's being done. So, I appreciate, Lisa, that you did not lower yourself to reading like the other groups do. No, I just felt that reading it as it's written, but you could, as you're reading it, you know that there's anger there, so I knew how to read it, I guess. I don't know. Look at an old person not like Tug, can't stand it. Yeah, I threw some comments out there, but and it was just I couldn't believe what Randy was saying, and to me, the judge is sounding. He's not sounding like he's at fault, though, with any of it, other than the fact that he should have put sanctions on you guys, the lawyers, sooner.
Yeah,
that's it.
He let it go too far.
Yeah. He's not saying he let that go too far, but the thing is, he's not saying he recognized some of the points that Bruce made, especially in the emails, right? So he addressed what was in 117. But didn't say anything about it. Randy did not oppose 117, which is a motion to dismiss and sanctions. Okay. But he gave him sanctions on 2 different dockets, not 117. So technically, this case should be dismissed. It should totally be dismissed based on Shockett and the motions that he filed and the lies and the perjury and the whole 9 yards. And if I'm telling you, if the judge doesn't see that at this point, if he doesn't pay attention to the motion 123 and the response by Bruce, which he obviously got the response, he let him withdraw, right? Now, he let him withdraw, even though at first he said it would leave them with no counsel, and then he let him withdraw. All right, with only a weekend to go over it. Okay, so my thinking is he read what Bruce said and figured, okay, he's probably paying a little bit more attention to it now. You know, it seems like at the hearing, based on what he's saying, that look, this is you wanted a jury trial. It's going to jury, right? So basically, you get to the point, you do your summary judgment, you discover your summary judgment, and then you go to trial and you let the jury decide, right? That's how it goes. So he probably didn't read into all the hoopla in any of the motions, except for what was literally right there in the points of the motion. He probably didn't click on a link or none of it. But you have to remember, motion 1, 2, 3 is to vacate him from the case, to remove him from the case. They're vacating consent to use the magistrate instead of the judge. So he's got to look at it and go, what? Why? And read the complaint. Maybe the guy doesn't like to read. I don't know. And if he's not reading it and he's having some, law clerk do the reading for him, well, then he probably needs to fire the law clerk. Because then that means this law clerk, if that's what the law clerk's doing for him this entire time, isn't pointing out the stuff that's being told. They're like omitting links and all this shit. So hopefully the judge clicks the links, sees what's going on, and then goes, oh my God, He definitely sees that the court is being used and abused for this. He definitely sees the continuous, we call it polymop. He sees the continuous use of the court, frivolous use of the court, and he sees it. He recognizes it. It's turned into a nightmare. We call it a circus. You know what I mean? He sees it. He's calling it out right there on his own. How can he not see what Bruce is saying in the last two motions? He has to. And I think what he's starting to do also is cover his ass. He's trying to save face. So there's a couple of things happening here. Because this is going to a judge above him. Especially now that the deadline was, I believe, yesterday for the 1, 2, 3 motion. It wasn't he didn't respond to that motion.
It was the 10th, wasn't it?
That was for the 117 that Randy didn't oppose, which means that should be dismissed. The case should be dismissed right there because he didn't oppose it. When the other side doesn't oppose a motion to dismiss, it should be looked at in the case should be dismissed. It wasn't opposed. So that's one thing there. But then you have the 1, 2, 3 motion, which you guys haven't heard, but or some of you may have because you may have read it. But it's a mic drop, and it brings everything out in the case, and he has to read it. And if he doesn't read it, it brings it to another judge. It's supposed to go to another judge anyway, but the fact that it wasn't responded to by the date it was supposed to be, which I believe was yesterday or today, I think it was the 15th. I think it was the 15th. It automatically goes to another judge. So it's definitely sitting in another judge's hands looking down on it. And the judge might be like, why on earth did you let this go this far? For instance, a motion was filed and it took him 5 months to respond. Why is that? Bruce pointed out that his clients were indigent. Like, who knows if the judge even knew that? You want to think he did from the beginning of the case, but, when you got a judge look, does he always pull up everything on the case and go over everything before he reads it? No. Just like attorneys, when they walk into a courtroom, especially like public defenders and prosecutors, right? They pull out their files of all the cases they're going to go through all day long, and they kind of go over and say, okay, we're going to continue this case. Boom, close the file, go to the next one. They're not looking at every little thing. So he's got to hear a bunch of cases that day, he's going over, okay, so this case we're going to do this case we're going to do that, blah, blah, blah. We're going to answer this, but I set aside this much time. You just never know. So obviously, when you walk into a courtroom, you are in front of the judge to make him see things that he's not seeing in emotion or whatever, and, all Randy got to show him was an email with the counsel on it and a Palomont picture of Randy wearing a crown on his head that says Palomont. That's an acronym.
Yeah, there was something shady in there, I heard, too, that they mentioned they talked to the judge the day before.
Yeah, he said yesterday, you said it was absurd. How did you talk to the judge the day before when you used the word absurd?
Yeah.
That's what he said. So you're talking to the judge the day before. But we have to go back to the day before because Bruce filed something and the judge, that was said in the order from the judge. Okay, yeah. So Bruce, I believe that's where the judge had said that the case was going to continue whether Bruce was there or not. That Bruce needed to be there. But he says, and off the record thing. He also mentioned off the record. But here's the thing. Off the record could be just, it's still in the courtroom, but something was mentioned.
Sidebar.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that there was a phone call, or we're out to dinner and he said,
Yeah. Well, that could be sidebar, right, Bruce?
Yeah. But he said like yesterday, or I don't remember if you said it on the record or off the record. Who knows? But this judge has been in another case with Randy before. So Randy's been in front of him before this case. And it was some type of insurance type case or something. And that case, I believe it was settled, actually. But in the judge, in reference to Bruce thinking he was going to be arrested if he showed up, the judge had a one-word sentence, absurd. Yeah, well, maybe this time he'll look at the videos with the links of Jeremy going over and over and over, saying how well, here's the other thing. He did mention how they brought him up and used him as a reference, right? Remember that? I read it tonight. He brought up the fact that they've been using the magistrate kind of like in threats.
Kyle.
I just read it. But no, I don't think it was dental insurance, Kyle. I'm sorry. That's what was misunderstood and them having to communicate off the record. Gotcha. But anyway, there was a reference to, him using them as kind of like a threat. And then you have plenty of videos where Jeremy, and not just on his own channel, but on other channels, talking about how the magistrate was going to call the marshals in and have him arrested. Then you also have Jeremy talking about, well, if Bruce doesn't show, he's going to get arrested. Then the marshals are going to come in, and the marshals are going to go to his house, and he's going to get arrested. I mean, they have him going to Armenia and skipping the country. I mean, it's like ridiculous. Jeremy has stated on video he was friends with the magistrate. Yes, he did. And there's a video of that. That was linked where the judge can see that. That's what I'm saying. If the judge reads 1, 2, 3, motion to vacate, and the response as to why Bruce should or should not be sanctioned, and wasn't in court, those are my drops. If he reads all of it and clicks on the links and looks at the exhibits, he will see what Jeremy's doing. There's no denying it. It's all right there. It's literally there. And furthermore, there is just a shit ton more of the same exact stuff. There is no way a jury is going to go on Jeremy's side. You're not going to get 12 people to agree that, these people have hurt Jeremy when Jeremy cannot provide anything other than these signs that one person says this, but yet the other person says, oh, hell no, because it was forged to look like she did, which is why that person said it in the first place. They have no proof that anybody's seen it. They have the people who said they captured the signs, brought them to Jeremy, but lied in a deposition. I'm sorry, not a deposition, an affidavit about it. And we have that proof as well. So they lied, which is going to make it look like Germ's lying about the whole freaking thing. He's wasting his time. He's using it all for content. The same reason why he used his other neighbors for content. All this bullshit. Notice Jeremy has not said a damn word about that property line or the memorial since we said that a survey was done and it's their property. He said nothing. Instead, he wants to make fun of teeth. So let me ask you, I read all that. Do I sound like I'm talking like a redneck with no teeth? Did I sound that way? I'm just saying. It sounded like I had no teeth, right?
This whole thing is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. I hope to God the judge reads all this stuff. And
that's all he's got to do, man, is read it. The facts are there. The evidence is there. He's just got to read it. And this whole time, it just seems like, you know, there's no judge there. The thing is, you can have the facts, you can have the evidence, you got to have the judge. If you don't have the judge, then there you go. And, you know, it needs to be brought to the judge's attention. And this judge, it's like, he's just reading the points of motions. That's it. He's not paying attention to the details of the motions. And me, I believe in details. I believe in the deeds. The details matter, you know? And I believe in them more than some lawyers do. And even though there's certain deets in these motions, they're not even getting paid attention to. So, lied to Ohio judge about police reports, not found it. Yep. Omitting is the same as lying. Oh my God. By the way, why is it okay for everybody else to cough but not me?
What are you talking about?
Well, because I've been sent links to everybody's stupid shows the past 2 weeks, and I've gone to every one of them, and in each video, everyone is coughing. But I'm ridiculed for coughing all the time. Jeremy's hiding stolen property. He will never admit to it.
It's okay in their videos.
Oh, he is hiding stolen property because we got proof of it. You know the stuff from the memorial? Stupid Travis. Stupid knucklehead Travis. Stupid Travis. Bruce has shown why this case needs thrown out. It comes down to the signs, and no one saw those signs except for his friends, and they don't believe them. There is no case. Nope, there is no case. Jerem's soap opera has gone from Days of Our Lives to Dark Shadows. Lisa, read my post. Oh boy. What did John Cap say now? Kendra was selling chiclet tea tonight. Well, it's probably going now. They're listening now. It's probably gone now. Yeah, well. What? I don't know. They listen all the time. They think I'm going to divulge info. No. Are you listening to that, or are you just still in it?
I was just verifying it. Thank you.
Oh, is it done?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Do these judges
most judges don't take it home.
Look at the 9 to 5 between cases. Who knows? I'm pretty sure. Hey, if someone was questioning my job and what I was doing, and I'm going to get like brought down or yelled at about something, you best believe I'm going to look at everything that's in this case, you know, or at least look at the motion and everything's in it, you know. And I'm pretty sure if he doesn't like those emails, I'm pretty sure he's not going to like what he sees about Jeremy. He's not going to like seeing that cocky asshole on a YouTube channel talking about him as if he's biased. He ain't going to like it. He's also not going to like the fact that he's mentioned, and now when you search Bolitho, Jeremy's channel pops up. He is not going to like that either. He should let Travis know what he's lying about. He don't care. He don't care about any of them. He doesn't even care about his supposed girlfriend. He doesn't care. He throws her under the bus. He doesn't care. Mike's comment. Hold on. Let's see. Are we gonna do giveaways tonight? What time is it? It's 12:16. Oh, we only have 2. Mike, where you at, Mike? Scrolling. Music in bed. Have a good night. Good night. Negative out, positivity in. Fuck it all. I hear you, Mike. Is that the comment? Good night, Mike. Did I miss something over here? Mike's comment. I'm scrolling. I must have missed it.
Chris and Mimi did pay for a giveaway.
Yes.
Yep.
Between this absurd case and Guapo workers being shitheads, I have had enough for tonight. Hey, is that the comment? That was in order in the second day before, right? Gotcha. I missed the comment. I don't know. I can't find it. It's not that far up. Okay, hold on. The only one I see is him saying goodnight. Rain. Mike. Music in bed. Have a good night. I don't see. Claudio. He said Travis has the stolen memorial on his channel. Yes. Yes, he does.
Exactly.
I already have a copy of it. Sure does. And it's been confirmed that it is, in fact, the stolen material. Helen, 45 minutes left and 7 for the goal. That's right, 7 for the goal. I'm going to do a giveaway. Well, we have a giveaway to give to do from Raw Dog and Mimi. Thank you for your kindness. Did someone say giveaway? Giveaway. She is like hiding. Oh my god. Receiving stolen property is a crime. It is, especially when they took it themselves. We have video proof of them taking it. It's all a crime. All of it. All crime. Yeah. I'm hoping tomorrow we'll be able to talk about some things. Kyle Alex, thank you. Whoop whoop, $5 super chat. Let me see actually if someone emailed me saying I could read something. Hold on. Oh. Okay. Thank you. On top of it, they heard what I said.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you, Kyle, for
Whoop, whoop. I was right in the middle of yawning and I was going to go whoop whoop.
Okay, so let me jump back for a second to the April 3rd transcript. There's a part in, I'm not going to pull it up here, but the last line of page 12 states, we have a factual dispute. There are. I just don't see any way that summary judgment is going to resolve this case when Mr. Hales said they placed these signs out there. They said these things, they did these things, and they say they didn't do these things. They did these things, and they say they didn't do these things. That's what we have juries for, okay?
Hey, Raw Doggy.
He applies 12B6 standard to summary judgment.
Whoop, whoop,
So,
Kyle.
on record, essentially, if not officially, already denying summary judgment prospectively, even before the motion's been filed. He's saying, please don't make me work by filing a summary judgment motion, but he can't say that. So he said what he said. Now, clearly, it should be a summary judgment whether he realizes that, having not had the benefit of a motion being filed after close of discovery, he explicitly said was allowed. We know we're wasting our time, even if he might have seen it for what it is. No evidence on material issues such as publication. Again, he's cornered himself into a biased predisposition on any summary judgment motion that has been filed by the defendant. So,
This whole thing is insane.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I can't really. I don't know. He's not.
Jennifer, good night, Ray Bone Crusher. God bless
Good
and
night,
prayers.
Ray.
Good night, Greg. Thank you, Jennifer. For super chat number 7. Three more to go, folks.
I'm gonna do, the 1, 2, 3 motion to vacate tomorrow night, but I'm also gonna bring up some notes about the transcript going along with that. So I'll be able to do more with the transcript as well. So as a matter of fact, I'm gonna take this and
Kyle, whoop whoop.
Thank you, Kyle.
thank you, because Raw Dog is furry. Oh my gosh, we only need 2 now?
It's the 8th one of
Right.
the thing, and he gave
$8. That's awesome. Thank
He
you.
gave 5 for number 5.
Really? You guys are awesome. So we're gonna have 2 giveaways. And the one from Chris and Mimi is gonna be a doozy. Trying to see what's sitting over here that we can do for that one. A nice bigger one. It's a bigger one. It's either a double or a bigger one. Let's see. What about the defaults of Marla, John, and Michelle? Any input? Yeah, I mentioned it earlier that there was a motion filed by MLS's attorney that asks for, and the judge ordered, he granted it, and asked for a more definite, and he wants them to amend the complaint for a more definite complaint. Basically, I mean, it doesn't say much in it. So it is ordered that he has to refile an amended complaint. So based on that, why should anybody have to put their answers out and when they're waiting for an amended complaint? So being that they didn't do that,
John Caps.
Brandy Shockett went and filed motions for default, which is really stupid on his part, especially that Belitho, not only in his order did he say what he said, as far as he talks about a shotgun pleading. Shotgun, oh my God. I can't even believe that this guy did this. After getting reamed in the April 3rd hearing, okay, he goes and does a shotgun pleading on this other case. And then when he put something in the footnote about reminding him of a rule, and he turns around and does this summary
Diana Balls.
motion for default for 3 people in a case where he has to it's stupid. It's stupid. It's gonna be fine. It's okay. If anything, if it's not noted, and there's just other motions that have to be filed about it. It'll be fine. It's just that Shockett's causing the judge to have to read more shit. which is what he's told Shockett on April 3rd.
Crazy lady. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Gold Matt. So we got 2 giveaways to do. As a matter of fact, we're going to start one more. We're going to start the hashtag. Let's see what shall it be? Let's see. Hold on, I need to refresh that. There we go. All right, so what should the hashtag be? Let's see. Yeah, it might have to be. There you go. I like that one. Shock it. Let's see. Froggy can. Hashtag draw fast. Ha 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 ha. What?
I'm tired. My eyeballs are tired.
Yeah, mine too. Let me see.
Oh, we love you, Doggy.
Actually, I like that one. Let's fix that. I chose a different one, but I like that one better.
Thank you, Raw Dog.
I was gonna make it a longer one, but we'll just do this one. Get your hashtags in. I was gonna put Clownsel the pop star, but instead I just put Clownsel. Hashtag Clownsel. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to read this Michelle versus Jeremy list. So it says, what Michelle and John have supposedly done to Jeremy and George. They moved to Otter Creek, bought the property across the street from them, asked Jeremy to help them move a tree, told George to leave her property when George suggested she give her daughter up for adoption. Michelle asked Jeremy if she could have a donation box for her turtle rescue at Half Meal Time to Grill, which was an event to be held. John having a gun in his pocket in his own front yard that was never aimed at Jeremy or anyone else. Michelle posted her opinions on a private Facebook account and responded to other posts about her directly. Jeremy claims Michelle wrote defamatory signs about him, but has no proof of that. They got a protection order against Jeremy. Both went to town hall since they are both full-time residents, not part-time snowbirds. Michelle got her mail from the post office. John measured the front of his property while Jeremy was driving down the road. John stood behind a tree when Jeremy and Travis's friend Wes drove by slowly, yelling something at John while filming. They defended themselves, got a lawyer, and have help from friends finally. Working at a flea market, John and Michelle picked up Chinese takeout. They both have friends who like them. That's Michelle's end. What Jeremy and George have done to Michelle and John. Jeremy began a smear campaign against them when Michelle told George to leave her property after George suggested to give up her child. By the way, George was on her property to get food for her chickens. For free.
Food for her chickens.
Yeah. Jeremy, which they complain about, it was all like, rotten and, whatever. They say all this crap, but that's why she was there. Jeremy filed for a protection order on them 3 times in Florida, all denied. Jeremy goes to Ohio and gets a magistrate to give him a PO against them with basically no proof other than his word. Jeremy then put all of his court papers, videos, and audio on his YouTube channel for the entire planet to see. Jeremy began filming their every move for accountability. Jeremy called CPS 3 times at least. No violations were found. Jeremy asked his viewers to call CPS, and they did at least 27 times. No violations were found. Jeremy and George constantly post their images, videos of them and their property on a daily basis. Jeremy threatened them in a song he sang on one of his live streams, saying he wanted to gather his friends and family and aim AK-47s at Michelle and John's property for their own safety. When Michelle went to town hall as a resident of Otter Creek and a candidate in a race there, George, a part-time snowbird, Deanna, another woman, pulled into the parking lot, called the police, and asked them to make Michelle and John leave due to the protection order, and they left when they were done with the business they had at the town hall. Neither George nor the other woman had any reason to be there. The Ohio magistrate found her guilty of breaking the PO without allowing evidence from Michelle. 11. George called the police on Michelle when she went to the post office. Even though they were separated by a glass wall and door, Michelle made no attempt at contact. They was more than 500 feet away from George and left immediately afterwards. Again, the magistrate found her guilty of breaking a PO without allowing evidence from Michelle. 12. Jeremy has also called Fish and Wildlife and the Florida Game Commission on Michelle and even called her 501c3 office to complain about her with no good cause. Both Jeremy and George delight in calling people by derogatory names. There's a list at the end of the summary. 14. Jeremy pulled up in his truck behind John when John was measuring his front yard for a fence. He was on foot using a walker and just had knee surgery. Jeremy stopped his vehicle right next to John and yelled out 10 feet, 10 feet while filming his antics. Then he claimed John told him to S his, D, the 2-inch thing. When he did not say that. It's not heard on Jeremy's video or the video Michelle took of the same incident. 15. Jeremy went to Winn-Dixie and somehow talked to the manager into stopping the bread donations he was giving to Michelle for her tortoises. He also claimed she was stealing from the bread. 16. Jeremy passes their home several times a day, every day, filming out of his truck window with the cameras on the end of a selfie stick so it will reach over their privacy fence, allowing him to get video footage of their private areas and personal property for his own YouTube content. 17. Jeremy sent 5 of his friends to remove a trailer from the Preston property, which belonged to an old man that they were letting live there for no rent on the condition that he sells them the trailer. They got no money and no trailer, but Jeremy got video and photos of their child and private areas illegally so he could use it for his own YouTube content. 18. Jeremy bribed Harley's biological father's sister to file 1, a motion allowing them to unseal the original adoption papers, and 2, gain custody of Harley. They used the legally gotten video and photos of the property and then lied about the relationship with Harley and the so-called aunt. The aunt never met Harley, yet the lawyer who filed the motions claimed they had an unbreakable bond. They raised over $36,000 while Jeremy's lawyer and lawyer friend were present on Jeremy's video. The lawyer for the aunts may be faced with charges of perjury and fraud, and the aunt got to keep the rest of the GoFundMe money. Both motions were denied for lack of standing. 19. Jeremy bribed Michelle's grandson, his girlfriend, and his best friend to talk badly about Michelle and John, which they did via telephone. The grandson claims Jeremy never paid him or bought his plane ticket home as promised. 20. Jeremy does nothing but use these people for his YouTube content and has done so for over 2 years. 21. Jeremy filed a lawsuit against John and Michelle for defamation, loss of income, and even RICO conspiracy charges, all baseless claims with no discovery to date. 22. Jeremy stalked John to the local Walmart, approaching John while he was at the register, began yelling obscene words at him and scaring the poor cashier along with others in line. John did not say a word and left. 23. Jeremy asked people to go to the local flea market and film Michelle and harass her at her place of work. 24. Asking DJ Radis to stalk Michelle and John, which he did. He saw them getting Chinese takeout and hid behind a post to video them as they left. Then he showed the video on live stream on YouTube. He then stalked them at the flea market. 25. Jeremy has now filed another lawsuit with John and Michelle as defendants for basically the same thing he's suing them for now, which is suing someone twice for the same thing, which is illegal. He has also added 8 more defendants to that same case, including her lawyer. Some of the defendants are only defendants because they were described as simply friendly with Michelle. So here is Jeremy Hales, a YouTube creator with over 730,000 subscribers, with the help of other YouTube channels as Megan Fox, Slug, Veteran Nation, Squid Pro, That DUI Guy, Shara Michelle, The Wilborns, DJ Radis, and all of his other minions. He has all these people and all of their followers to badmouth, make fun of, defame, stalk, mock, ridicule, and threaten Michelle and John, yet they do not have a YouTube channel of their own and live on a fixed income while raising an adopted child of 5 years. A man who makes nearly $400,000 a month on YouTube views alone is asking his followers and supporters to completely annihilate an innocent family who has done nothing to Jeremy or George, yet all of them are making money from Michelle and claiming they are all victims of her somehow, some way. Victims of what? A 100-pound, 60-year-old woman who refuses to cower down to a 48-year-old bully of a boy because that is her only crime, not liking Jeremy and not letting him ruin her life. Seeing all this in one place, you give a better perspective of the situation as a whole. Polyma, protraction of litigation and multiplication of proceedings for YouTube content, for profit, vexatious litigants. If one cannot see who the real problem is here, then nothing will change their minds. At this point, they are too ignorant to understand the truth, let alone are they able to handle the truth. If I added all he has done to everyone he has had a problem with, I'd be here for weeks typing away, but I think this is sufficient for now. List of derogatory names used by Jeremy and George. Oh boy. Lynette Preston, Lynette Preston, John Crook, Matt Gravy sucks dried gravy, Mary Math is scary. Hold on. Don the Con, Shart, Marla Huge, Deuce Foreskin, Bubbles, BBB, Michael Valment, Paint Chips Boy, Busted Bag of Biscuits Boy, Two Fleas, Fleece Up, Troy, Dodgy Robbie, Robin Robbie, Russ the Sus, Pile of Guano, Stupid Dave, Otter, meaning ODD, ER Creek, and the list continues to grow. What Otter Creek residents call him and Travis? Jeremy, the creep, the creeper, the peeping creeper, the jerk, the germ, Jeremy, Travis, the knucklehead, Travis D. Trashvis. What John and Michelle call Jeremy and George? Jeremy and George. Wow.
John, to make one clarification. From Winn-Dixie, they were not getting bread.
I thought it was fruit.
It was fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, it was fruit.
It was fruit and vegetables that were turning.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
You did make that clarification in the chat, and I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Okay. This was written by someone that sent this to me. That's part of the community. And wow, and I love all of that. And then it ends.
They sat
and paid attention
and made notes.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Something people on Facebook don't do.
No.
But
I love how that just ended like that. All this, what started off with what Michelle and John have done, and then what Jeremy has done, and all the names in the mocking that Jeremy and George have done, and then it says what John and Michelle call Jeremy and George. Jeremy and George. That right there tells you a lot.
He's claiming that Russ and Don gave up their seats so that Michelle would be on council.
Who's claiming that?
Jeremy. Jeremy stated today that Russ and Don gave up their town council seats yesterday at the Levy County building to get Michelle on the council.
I don't think that automatically puts Michelle on the council. I think they have to vote that or something like that.
And
they don't have to add anybody to the council if Russ and Don gave up their seats. I could be wrong.
It depends how it's written up now.
But if that's the case and that's how it goes, then what are they gonna? What's Jeremy gonna do if Michelle ends up on the town council? Was he gonna show up there every week and not go back to Ohio to hound her, harass her, and try and get her not show up?
He can't do that because that's her job.
Yeah.
And because it would be her job, it would be his responsibility to stay away from her. You cannot. If you have a protection order against someone, you cannot go to their work.
That'd be weaponizing a restraining order.
It's against, yeah.
But yeah, his no peculiar. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, we'll just see, won't we? Every day it's something different. What's wrong? Oh. He's trying to get it prolonged. Yeah. I don't think they're going to like what happens at the next hearing in that case. I can tell you that right now.
I'm perplexed about something.
What?
I can't say it. I can't say it.
Are you? Uh-huh.
I can't tell you while you're on.
I know. Sorry. Okay.
if you
I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, I can mute. Jerm says PO overrules that if she's on the council. Well, he could say whatever he wants. He's in Florida, by the way. And yeah.
Nope. Being on the council would be her job.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot use a PO to keep someone from being able to do their job.
Yeah.
That's do some research.
Yeah, just because, like, if she worked at Walmart and he came in there, he could not make her leave because that's her job. He would have to go there not during her when she's there.
Right.
And he can't harass her at her job.
Right.
Because that's grounds for her to get a protection order.
Right. If you have a PO, why in the world would you purposely go where you know the people you have the PO against?
Call them up.
No. Oh, I know.
Well, you asked the question. I gave.
No, I'm reading the chat.
I gave the answer.
You know, it's crazy, but this is what he does. This is why he's created all this. You know.
Content, YouTube content. That's why, Mrs. Tom's.
Well, it's funny. The judge is recognizing that the court is being used and abused here.
God, the court's being used as a backdrop.
And Bruce is telling him.
YouTube channel.
Bruce is telling him it's for a YouTube channel. That's why it's happening.
I mean, I can spell it out to the judge very clearly if I can have 5 minutes of his time.
Right.
The court is now a part of a stage.
Mm-hmm.
You are the backdrop.
Yeah. Oh, you're a star right now. You are a star right now in this.
And you're being portrayed as the best buddy of the plaintiff.
Yeah.
And you guys evidently talk
outside of the courtroom,
face to face or on the phone or whatever. You guys are in communication.
Right.
The judge and the plaintiff are communicating with each other.
According to Jerm.
Based on the plaintiff's words.
Yeah.
How much more clear do you need it to be?
Well, we pointed it out. The judge has clips of every time Jeremy said it.
Yeah.
So it's right there.
Who is MLS?
MLS is Dave Helm. He's the other part, and I'm only saying it because he's another party or another defendant.
What does MLS stand for?
And making law simple. He's an attorney. YouTuber. He's a YouTuber, an attorney, and he's a defendant in the case also. Which is just so weird.
But he does have a lawyer.
Yes, and his lawyer filed a great motion. Said,
basically, simplistically, this
what the hell is this?
Make any sense. Yeah. I need you to be more specific and clarify exactly what the hell you're suing people for.
Right.
Filing a lawsuit if I'm suing you is not the way.
Right.
Yep, I'm the mole. Oh,
you're the mole again?
Evidently, yeah. Someone asked why I wasn't being sued, and someone else said because I'm the mole. Yep, I'm the mole.
I don't know why. First of all, it's not going to go nowhere. It's not.
Oh, Sylvia, it's not petty theft. He actually stole it. Hello?
Is having stolen goods on your property considered petty theft? No, he stole it. He took it out of the ground and stole it. And then left it there. And then Travis foolishly videotaped it. So.
Well, it's not like, didn't he admit to taking stuff off of, quote, his property?
It's not his property.
But it wasn't his property and it wasn't
And he knew it wasn't his property.
And it wasn't his property to take it from. Therefore, he trespassed onto Tina and Brian's property and stole Tina and Brian's property.
Yeah. He knew it wasn't his property. There's a video of him going over the blueprints.
After he found out that they used the same surveyor that he used, he decided he shouldn't talk about the property anymore because Tina and Brian, that property right there, because he would have to admit that he was wrong.
No.
And it's not his property.
And it's not just that. He removed 2 posts. One post had the memorial on it, and the other one had a no trespassing sign. And a one that said you're on surveillance. So he knew when he was removing it that the cameras were on him.
Yep.
And he didn't care. He knew 2 years ago, proven in one of his videos, that he went over the blueprints with someone, including, and one of the men's name was Skipper, that the property wasn't his. It was explained to him. He actually showed it. Why do you think he didn't go and get a survey himself on that part of the property this whole time? Why? Because he knew it wasn't his. That's why. And he wasn't willing to spend the money. But yeah, so that's what he did. He's pissed off. Now he's trying to say that because I showed camera footage of him driving by Michelle's house, that it's some type of third-party contact. Third-party contact would be if Michelle was telling me to tell Jeremy something, and I did.
Yeah. Jeremy, Michelle wanted me to show you I have this video.
Yeah. No, Michelle didn't say that. Michelle, I actually asked for the videos, and I showed it. Why? Because that is her having cameras on her property line.
Accountability.
It is accountability. But if you look at her cameras, let me ask you this. You look at her cameras, they're pointed along her property line. Yeah. Where is Jeremy's cameras pointed?
Her property.
Directly across his property to hers.
Hers are properly set.
Hers are properly set with security camera footage along her property line. It faces down her fence line.
Yep. One faces down one way, one faces down the other.
Yeah.
So you can literally, with the 2 cameras, you can see from one end of her property to the other. Mm-hmm. As they should be.
Now, let me ask you this. There's a video out there, actually, Thomas Collins put it out, and it shows Tubetown. And it shows all the cameras and where they're at. I have pictures of all the cameras anyway. I believe we have it on video as well. But it shows where all the cameras are at. Now, Jeremy owns 70 acres. Okay? Maybe I'll just pull this up. Well, all right.
He has more surveillance cameras at Tubetown
than anywhere else on his. Yeah, acres. That's what I want to show. But you know what? It'll be easier for you guys to see it. So let me just. Here it is. Hang. There we go.
Actually, Lisa has a better hard drive for storing those videos.
Yes.
Than what Michelle has.
Yes.
So it's just more. It's
very convenient.
For her to send them to Lisa.
Because not only that, it's only a 24-hour thing that they have that each video is up for.
Won't keep the account for the video. Only keeps it for 24.
Correct.
Other than that, Michelle has to put it on her phone or her tablet.
Right.
That's limited hard drive capacity.
Okay.
And so she sent it to Lisa for Lisa to store it for her.
So what? Okay. This is a public record, guys, okay? So let me zoom in. Okay. This here, that's Michelle's property, okay? This is Hales' property. Directly across the street. And let me zoom in so you can, there we go. Okay. Whoops.
So that little inlet right there is.
See, that's Michelle's. This is Jeremy's. No, we'll get rid of that line. And What the hell just happened? Go out a little more. There we go. And here is Jeremy's also. This is where Tubetown is, right here. Okay? This right here is where the cameras are. Go in a little more. No, it goes in too far. All right, so these cameras are literally facing her property in 5 different places in this one section. Where is the dang video? Hold on. Let me pull that up. It's easier to see. Hold on. There it is. I got 2 cameras right here. You what? Oh, okay. Hold on.
Pull my blankie up and take it in right here.
All right. Hold on. Hold on. Let me. It's not gonna let me. I have to do it on. Hold on. I'm getting there. This will be easy for you to understand. Hold. Pause. All right. Let me just move it to a point where. Okay. Perfect. Let's. Oh. Nope. Nope. Hold on. I did something.
Not sure what it is.
Hold on. Nope, that's not it. There we go. I wanted to make it bigger, but it didn't do that. All right. So anyway, there it is. This is Tubetown, right? So Michelle's property is directly across the street. Here's a camera. Wait a minute. Where are we? So there's Travis. There's a camera here. There's a camera here. There's cameras in all these different places. Jeremy owns property all down here, all back, all around. Okay. He owns a whole big frontage right in front of her place. But this is where the cameras are, pointing directly across the street. They're not pointing down the fence line, going either way. They're not pointing this way or that way like Michelle's is, where you can see people coming and going in front of her property. No, all these cameras are pointed directly across the street. Directly across the street. Isn't there a camera at Hudson's property too? Yes, I've seen the cameras from hers. I've seen the pictures from her. And it literally, it's from a distance from her house, which is why Michelle's property gets caught in her pictures, but it is not pointing at her house. So it's kind of like when you look at, all right, for instance, here, I'll open this up. Let's take a look-see at this. Hold on, let me share this. I gotta get another picture up. Hold on. Oh, look at that. This is the dog one. Great. All right, so we'll share that. Let me get out of here. Come back here. Present, spare screen, window. Okay, so we show this here, right? See how it's right here. You can see her fence. You see my mouse moving? This is her fence. The cameras are on her fence. Okay, it's showing down the road. Down the road. You see all this property right here in front of his truck on the other side? Jeremy owns all of this. All of it. You tell me why there's no cameras anywhere in here. I mean, there could be that we don't know about, but technically, no, they're not. They're at Tubetown, which is at the other side of where his truck is right now. Okay?
It's not 1:30, is it? No, it's not.
Explain. Explain that freak right there.
You can't. There's no explanation.
There isn't. He's just out of his mind. You know? So it's very disturbing to see what he's doing this whole time. He's stalking them. You know? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane what's going on. So let's get this drawing done. We got 2 to do. Giveaways. How many got? We got 127. Is there any more? Get your hashtags in, guys. Clownsel. Disturbing, disgusting. Yep. No, maybe proof you show they still believe. Whoa. Hold on. Yet with all the proof you show, they still believe them. It's so much that Jordan just spews crap out of his face when he has showed proof. He hasn't shown anything. The only thing he's done is he's shown his stupid little phone, and he screenshots things and shows them, and it makes it look like it's actual texting. Meanwhile, he changes it. Like he showed something about Shara with, we're going to destroy Jeremy Hales. Bruce saying, I want to destroy Jeremy Hales and, his empire or whatever. But where was the word legally? The word legally was actually in there. Where was that? Legally. That's why I say you're going down, Jerem, legally. You're legally going to be stopped. Because if I say you're going to be stopped, that could mean anything, right? Legally means you're going to use the authorities, the law, to stop him from committing crimes, because that's what he's doing, and harassing people. Harassing is a crime. Any which way you look at it. Can you get video of it, Flutter? Oh. Robbie, I hope your conversation with your wife went... Oh, did you talk to Michelle about the truck?
Yeah.
And?
She said it looks like a great deal.
Go ahead and say it's none of your business right now.
What's that?
Go ahead and say it's none of your business right now.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm just wondering on everything. You don't want to
make a wrong decision.
I have to make the decision. And it's like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So I'm going to pray on it and see what happens in the morning when I wake up. And
yeah. I agree, crazy lady. That's exactly what it is. They showed something highlighted here, and it was edited when we all saw what was said. Yeah. I'm telling you, they just spin, they anything. It's just to keep it going. Keep it going. Jeremy's not going to allow himself to look bad, right? He knows he's wrong with the property issue, but him being wrong and committing crimes for being wrong is a whole different ballgame. He committed crimes.
They'll let me have.
Huh?
They would let me do it.
What we do? No gap. All right. So we're at 133. Everybody in? Everybody in? What's going to do the first drawing? Here we go. Ready? Ready? Oh, you got? Yeah. It's 12:59. When it hits 1 o'clock, I'm hitting it. I'm hitting it. Get the hashtag in. Hurry up. Don't even know how many seconds you got left. Robbie being cautious on a different vehicle is good. No, that is good. Nothing's being done about it, so he wins. That's not true. And we're drawing. Here we go. Boom. Connie, Laura. Oh my God. Kristen, Tammy, Oki, Chris. Oh my God. True Life, Sylvia, Kim, Beth, Funny, Sonny, Kimberly, Chaz. Zicket won. Where is Zicket? He steals memorials. He lies to a cop. Yep. Trust me. With all the threats and everything, congrats to Zicket. Ooh. Wow. Thank you, he says. Thank you. So, Zicket, you got to make sure I have your shipping address. My email is scrolling across the bottom, and Flutter probably, and there she goes. Flutter has it out there for you. Just send me an email and let me know what your address is so I can get it out to you. And now we're going to do the next giveaway, which is going to be a special one. It's a big one. Okay. And this one, it's a $50 giveaway from Raw Dog and Mimi, showing random acts of kindness. So we're going to have some fun with this. I'm not sure exactly which nice big crystal is going to go with this because I have a couple choices. But I still have my box coming. But it is a $50 giveaway, so it's going to be an even bigger giveaway than what our normal giveaways are. So I wish I could show it to you. Anyway, so we're going to not draw again. We're going to create another hashtag. And what should that hashtag be? What do we say it is? What is it going to be? Come on. What's it going to be? I think I know what it's going to be. Here we go. This is what it was going to be before. Get ready to type those hashtags in, guys. There you go. Zip it term. Only as long as I went. Pot stirrer. Get your pot stirrers here. Ah, pop rocks. Robbie, is it true when you stepped on this morning you hurt your back?
Oh, yeah.
Pot stirrer. Not pit stirrer. Someone put pit stirrer. It went by so fast. Pot stirrer. Jennifer W's with pop rocks. Richard Cranium.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, guys. So Robbie, overall, what do you think? How do you feel about the judge? You know,
I think he's finally looking at stuff.
I think so too. However, I still think he's trying to save face because he let it go this far. He admitted he let it go this far, but he only said it in reference to sanctions. That sanctions should have been, you know what I mean? So he's trying to save face like he's done nothing wrong. You know?
Right.
When in fact he actually has.
God.
You know? And you know, hey, he does admit he's only been on the bench for 2 years, right? But that's nothing compared to a seasoned judge who's been on the bench, 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, so he obviously has a learning curve. The problem is his learning curve is affecting a family that's indigent and causing like more and more money to be involved here when this is a case that shouldn't even exist. You know what I mean? They are involuntary. They're not volunteering to be part of Jeremy's shit. And Jeremy, it's all involuntary on the defendant's behalf, and it's causing more problem. It's all for, Look,
there's just so many shenanigans going on here.
Yeah, but that's what he's meant to do that because it's deflecting other things. It's, how are we going to prove this? How are we going to prove that? Well, the thing is, when you have somebody organizing all your criminal behavior and your patterns of behavior for your entire life, trust me, it's easy to see. And that's why I say, like, I wish I can show you guys like the timelines and stuff. One day I can and will be able to, but right now I cannot. I can mention it all, but when you see it in its format, the way it's being put together, it's easily like, holy shit, And any judge that will see this is gonna be like, and you say they're doing what to you? Where's your proof of that? This guy cannot prove one form of being stalked, one bit of any kind of tortious interference, nor can he prove that they wrote the signs that only his friends saw and his friends don't even believe. Yet he told 730,000 people about those signs.
Yep.
He's the one who let the world know about the signs that nobody saw. But his friends are the one that found and lied about their affidavits in regards to finding it. So
This whole thing doesn't make sense.
No, it's Jeremy. That's how he's making money. He's trying to keep his money going.
Wait, it was supposed to make sense?
Yeah. Look, he turned around and tried to say that everybody, the anti-Hales ecosystem, which tends to be right now just me and Ray, probably more so me, that we're hurting his business. I've never once been on his whatnot. I've never told anybody to go to his whatnot. And
dude, I've never said anything about his whatnot except, when he said, I'm selling chemo rocks.
But he filed this in March of 2024. He didn't have his whatnot thing there. And that's the only account he actually has. He doesn't have there's no tortious interference with anybody.
All these contracts he claimed are non-existent.
Yeah.
He claimed a contract with Facebook. He claimed
and
a contract with Olight. He claimed a contract with YouTube.
Yeah.
He claimed all these contracts, and they're not contracts. They're general user agreements like everyone else has.
Yeah. Now, whatnot may be different, but he only started using it like 5-6 months ago. He's claiming it's ruining it. He needs whatnot and all those people that go send the money. Look, get your $15 credit and then come buy something and spend even more than $15 so that we make our money with whatnot. That's basically what it is. And he's claiming that, oh, poor me, we're not making enough money. But yet at the same time, he put a video out because his ego can't handle it and says that they sold 26,000 lots in 6 months. So how are you losing money? This is an income stream that you didn't even have when you filed the lawsuit. Not to mention when he was dealing with you and he only had 300,000 subscribers, and he was making like $150,000 to $200,000 a month just on views and super chats. That's it. Now he has double the subscribers, should have more views, and he has memberships plus the super chats. So he's making even more money than he made when he was talking to you. So at that point he was making $150,000 to $200,000. So he should be making $400,000 a month. Easy. And now his legal fees have gone up to $320,000. He just paid $20,000.
He just bought condos.
Yeah. Using
How many
other
does
people.
he own now?
What?
How many condos does he own now?
2.
He has 2 condos, a duplex.
I thought he was buying 2 more condos.
That's what he said, but as of right now, it's not showing. And now he's claiming he's selling the ranch to someone who wants to put houses on the property.
You can't develop wetland.
That's what he's saying. But does that person who's buying know that?
Yeah, if they do the
buyer beware.
The property thing.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that they probably think they're going to have access to this, cell tower that there's still like 39-40 years left of the contract that already exists. So Jeremy's not going to make any money on the cell tower during the next 40 years, and neither is anybody else. And when that contract is up, if they don't make a new deal, they're going to just remove the cell tower.
Yeah.
See you, bye. That doesn't mean that that's going to exist for the new buyer at some point in 40 years. So, no one's going to buy that property for what it's listed for. He listed it for that so that nobody would, but it doesn't mean that no one's going to approach him and say, hey, I'll pay you this much. You paid $250 for this property. I'll give you $350. You know what I mean?
I'm going to pay you.
Yeah. So what the land is saying it's worth now is a lot more money than it was. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Property's gone up.
Yeah. So if he's given what the land says, it's like 400 and something grand. Hold on. It's like exactly what it says on the 70. Hold on. No, that's not it. It's this one.
Does it give an appraisal for that property?
It says assess. It says just value 551,000. Market land value is 477,309. That's just for the 70.42 acres.
For that piece?
Yep. Yep.
That's hard to believe because that's a lot of wetland.
Yeah. Well, all right, this is what it says. Building value. This, okay. When you look at this, it says the house value is for, hold on, let me go back to it the other way. I thought this was kind of funny. So it's, where is it? Or if he's lying on his taxes saying that he upgraded this shit, that's hilarious. Where is it? Yeah. Let's show this right here.
Be the first time.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the property, the 70 acres. It says house, total land unit 6842, land value 441,309. Do you see that? Right here.
Oh boy.
It's like, what? Did he like say he did some kind of upgrades to that house or something? Like, what?
It's not.
So I'm not sure where those numbers are really coming from, but wow. Okay. But that's what it says. So
I don't even know what to think.
Yeah. Who knows? I can tell you that is the taxes for upgrades for the houses in the property that he owns in Ohio, they've all had upgrades exactly the same amount for every property. I was like, wow. It's probably an allowance that he took. But do you think he's been up there renovating or doing any kind of upgrades? No. But yeah. So these are all the properties he owns in Florida. And it's all under hanging out homes. Public records, peoples.
Yep.
So his last video where he was chasing Travis, his property really looks run down. Yeah, because he hasn't been there to take care of it. In his video the other day, he was jumping up and down, pulling up shit off the ceiling and stuff, man. Yeah. And the other thing, like, and then he mentioned in that video too that about the $100,000 from the family that left $100,000. First off, that family grew up there. They know every inch of that place. Okay. And there was no 100. Where he got that story from, the family don't even know. Because there was no money hidden on that property. He made it up. It's a complete, totally fabricated story. Totally
That
fabricated.
pissed me off because I believed it.
I lost you. You what?
He believed it.
I believed it.
No. Not sure.
Z and I were helping him look.
Well, yeah, and not only that, Z found the money, right? And
In the attic, the jar of coins.
He planted it there. A jar of coins were never there. Totally planted it there. So I couldn't believe he mentioned that the other day. I'm like, oh my God, I literally just said this about that there was no 100 grand left there. And whatever arrowheads he found, whatever, that's not true either. So he just lied. He just created content for the property.
Kenny Rose, the thing is that in order to buy on whatnot, you have to set up your payment, how you're going to pay. And when you buy something, they auto charge you.
Yeah, I found that out on Guapos. I didn't even know.
He's trying to say someone bought a bunch of stuff and never paid for it.
How is that?
You can't.
You can't on there, from what I understand.
Yeah, because when I was buying the Funko Pops,
without having a legitimate payment method set up, they won't let you buy anything or bid on anything.
You can bid.
No, it wouldn't let me. I was on someone. That's how I found out. I was on someone's watching it. They had something I wanted, and so I went to put in a bid for it, and it popped up a window and told me that I had to put in a payment option in order to be able to buy stuff off of whatnot.
But let's just say you already have a payment issue, or you've used it before, or whatever. I think you can bid, but what happens is as you bid, it runs your card, and because I heard when Guapo was on there, somebody bid something and a payment didn't go through, and like he said it, you know. So I think it charges you at that time, and if it doesn't go through, it doesn't go through. He can either toss it or something, or I don't know. Like he can either put it out again. But either way, I didn't know any of that, right? So I'm bidding on all these Funko Pops, and when I was done, I literally said, "Guapo, how do I, what do I do? I didn't see a way to go and pay for this. Do you send me an invoice or something?" And it's like, "No, it's taken care of." I'm like, "What do you mean it's taken care of?" I forgot I already had my credit card information in there. So I went and I looked at my bank statement. I'm like, oh, well, okay then. I'm like, and guess what? We're not buying another one. Because when you're bidding, you don't really realize how much you're spending. And I had no intention.
Yes, I know.
I had no intention of buying that much of Funko Pops, but they were such a good deal. I didn't even realize it got up there. I spent over $100 easy on there. And that wasn't my plan. What?
I think I wound up with a bunch of rocks that way.
Yeah.
But it's only a little bit of money. It's only a little bit of money. It's only a little bit of money.
Yeah. That's what happens. You keep bidding. And so that's how I found that. And you can also use a prepaid card. That's what Spade's saying. So, but anyway, Guapos is the only channel. I saw Jeebus's, but I didn't buy anything. And I've been on Guapos. I believe I've been on Guapos twice. But other than that, I've never been to Jeremy's. So yeah. I don't you guys don't understand is I know what's going on. I don't do anything involving Jeremy except talk about it on the channel and research when I'm not on the channel. I do not go to his Facebook page, his what does he have? Instagram or something like that. I don't go to any of that. I have people that actually have sent me stuff from his Instagram, and the Facebook page I get all the time. He's claiming he don't own that. I call bullshit on that. But other than that, but I don't involve myself in going to anything that has to do with Jeremy other than the research I need and his videos. And thank God, got them all. So now it's all like new things. So other than that, I don't do anything. I don't participate on Facebook at all. I don't, so you won't catch me going to his whatnot. And I've never done that. Come by my earrings. Oh, fun and funky on whatnot. Usually Thursday night. Right on. Well, I'm live on Thursday nights, but do you go early, Zicket? When you email me your shipping address, send me the link. Yep, get that in there, Popster. We're at what? 119.
All right, guys. I am going to bed. It's 1:20.
Yeah.
I'm up an hour past my bedtime.
All righty.
You all have a wonderful night. God bless. And I gotta go pray over this and see what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
All right, on ticket. Send me an email link.
I gave you my opinion.
Huh?
I said I gave him my opinion on what
I know you did, Mom did. It's a big decision.
Oh God, yes. You're talking to the woman who bought her Tahoe.
I know.
It was the same thing. Is that we did a lot of legwork on this, and I had done the Better Business Bureau and the Carfaxes and checking this and checking that. And then when I found it, it was like,
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, well, you saw me today. It's a lot of money, but
I'm just gonna hit this draw thing.
Hit that draw thing.
I'm just gonna hit that draw thing. Ready? And it's 120 entries. I'm just doing it. You ready?
Just hit it.
This is for the big one. Let's see who gets it. Go! Oh my God, who does it? Oh my God. Oh, Lisa, Road Kings, Victoria, Lana, Kimberly, Carol, oh my God, Jerry, Diane, Hal, Diana, Miss Balsley, Christy Nanya gets it. Whoop whoop! Congratulations, Christy. Congratulations! She gets it. Thank you, Raw Dog and me. Random
Congratulations, Christy.
That's gonna be a beauty. It's one of three things. Haven't decided yet. Christy Nanya gets it. All
right. Good night, everybody. God bless and prayers. And we will post the Gator video tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
That only works when we're all getting off, Tori.
That only works when we're all getting off. Is that what?
That sounds so
yeah,
wrong,
I was kind of like, what? What did he just say?
We do not get off together.
We all don't get off together. Thank you, Robbie.
Not happening, Robbie.
Lisa, how you said that was funny. Say it again. What's what? What did I say? What was it, Lori? Listen, all right, Christy Nanya. Christy Nanya. Gotta write it down. Christy, I have your shipping address, don't I? Lisa, as a Canadian, I know for a fact that sealing the memorial and having it on his shed is not worth the money of a warrant or any arrest just to report for $100. That's not the point. And it's not going to be just that.
There's more to it.
There's more to it. Whoop, whoop. Lori, what did I say? What was that you're referring to? I feel so left out, by the way.
Why?
Just do. It may sound funky, but it ain't no lie, boy, baby. Bye bye.
You, huh?
I was just reading what Bearded Fisherman wrote. Christy Nanya. She ain't on that loser couch. I don't even see any people talking about the loser couch today.
Kick her ass off the couch.
Whoop whoop. What am I? Chopped liver? I saw her. Oh wait, she removed it and said chopped liver. But I read it the way she meant it. See, I could do that. Is Christy here? She probably went to sleep or something. I don't know.
Okay, then draw again. She's not here. Don't count.
It's still theft of property and desecration of memorial and trespassing. Yes. Yes, it is. Dang typo. I gotcha. I read it right, girl. Sometimes I don't, but I read it right. Throws a pillow and there goes Tammy. Oh, and me. Oh, just so I don't feel left out. Thank you. I'm going to need to design a pillow.
Well, it looks like I have a post office box for the next year.
What?
I have a post office await for the next 6 months.
I'm in for a girl pillow fight. Kyle.
Pervert.
I give Lisa Lee lots of practice of reading typo. Yeah, look, my keyboard sucks, guys. I typo all the time. All the time. It's a new keyboard and it's one of those color ones. And it's like, Gabe got it for me, so I have to use it. Oh, that's an angry bird.
Goose.
That's a goose?
That sounds like a goose.
A goose. We need to make a loser couch t-shirt. Yeah, that would be cool too. I'm too old to pillow fight. Good night, Miss Tom.
My grandchild informed me I have packages at the house.
Oh. Is one of them mine?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is yours.
Really?
He said, I don't understand. This package looks like it's from Lisa, but it looks like it's to Lisa. Because he knows where the address is.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. He goes, what do you mean? And I said, Lisa didn't get it before they sent it back. And he goes, well, that's stupid. Should I just send it back again? I'm like, no.
No, because it has to go to a different address. Diana throws a pillow at me. Well, here, have it back. I need to make the tossing sound. Oh, we got more magic. More magic. More magic. 3. What? For me?
No, not for you. Oh no, I got the okay, I know what that is. Okay, no, there's only 2.
Oh my god, what is this?
I know one bitch today. My eyeballs hurt.
We got lots to do tomorrow. I actually have to get up early to finish.
I got work in the morning.
I have to finish what I'm doing. I'm not going to be able to finish it all tonight. I already know that. Where is it? Why can't... Oh, I have to open it first. Duh. Downloads. Refresh. Oh, I put it by name, so now I have to look for it by name. Oh, there it is. Guys, I think we might have some new mugs for sale. Not yet. Hold on. All right, so we're going to share. There we go. New mugs. Mugshot. Magic, more magic, whoa, magic, man, more magic, more magic. The Custom Crafter and Reaction channel. That's funny. Oh my goodness. Great mugs. 10-second roll. My eyes. What? What's wrong? Oh. I'm sorry. We should zoom in on that a little bit. There you go. For the mugshot. Well, by the way, guys, we got some funny stuff. Am I the only one feeling left out of a lot? Dimples, hope that's a shot glass in the shape of a mug. Oh my goodness. It's more magic, I tell you. It's more magic. Those are the pick you put in the bottom of the chamber pots. Oh my goodness. Good t-shirts. Martha's too tall. I was going to say that. That's funny. I got some funny stuff. Bam. No magic. No magic. Trying to look and see what other funny stuff I can show. It would go under there. Wait. Show. Where is it? All right, so I went over that. Doc 123 is still sitting there. We got to do it. Let's say. I've already shown those. I don't have new funnies.
Something on Monday.
Huh?
There's still something dealing with Monday.
Well, I think what it could be.
It's still in my head.
Well, yeah, for tomorrow. That is one deep hole. y'all see the background? This is cool. I actually like this one. How do I change it? Hold on. It won't let me do. Tori's does it, but I can't.
What?
Where? There it is.
What can I do that you don't know how to do?
How you get that screen? Just it still puts me at the bottom, but you guys, the way you do it, you go off screen. And I don't know how it does it with yours because is it a scene setting or it's a scene?
It's one of the settings.
Oh, well, I have layouts that I have set up.
It's one of the settings at the. It's one of those. It's one of those layouts at the bottom
Oh,
where I set it up and picked it.
Huh.
And I think there's one. If you look at them on StreamYard,
uh-huh.
You picked the whole big box and it has the little person at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you have one that's just the big square with no person on it.
Yeah.
Click that one.
I did, and it still shows me.
Hmm.
Still shows me.
It should.
It does.
I don't know.
Why
They are
is
still. No, wait. Ooh.
my mole is gone? What? What do you mean? Oh, yeah, the mole's gone. Good night, Edie. Yeah, the mole wasn't on there.
Fires drummer, son of an iconic singer.
Huh?
Mm,
What?
the Who
Oh.
and drummer Zach Starkey, son of Ringo Starr, have parted ways.
Oh.
So the Who fired Ringo Starr's son.
Right.
How dare they?
Oh, I don't know.
Who do they think they are?
Right. Who do you
Exactly.
think they are?
Who do you think you are? Just who? Who?
So, guys, that picture of me squeezing the germ, that's from 5 months ago.
I know whose germ that is.
Yes. You know whose germ that is?
I gotta get my germ.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's change that avatar. And then see, I don't think they all have them all. No. Those don't have them all. Let me see, hold on. And by the way, I did not make these about myself. This is someone's image of me.
Yep.
Okay, this is how they look at me and what they created. That's from a year ago. Kyle Crazy, you in the no-no? I'm in the no-no. Sorry, going to change subject, but can I confirm that cloud storage is for Apple users, not Android?
No, Apple
No.
has a cloud as well.
They have their own clouds.
We have one. It's called OneDrive. Well, actually, laptops have OneDrive. What do I have on my phone? iCloud is Apple.
Right, my iPad has iCloud. Lisa Miyagi posted a video of her pup playing with a germ ball the other day. It's so cute. Really? That's funny.
But I know I have some cloud thing on my phone.
Any timeline on when things will get moving fast?
No.
They're moving now. They really are. Stuff's happening.
We can't post any information about any timeline, even if we know when things are going to happen. We can't say this is going to happen on this date because some twat will get in the way of it.
Yeah. Now, once it happens, I'll trust you guys are the first to know. Like, that's why I got the transcript today, and I'm thinking, well, I can wait till tomorrow because if anybody else ordered it, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I wasn't sure whether I should do it tonight or tomorrow. But because it's really important that you guys hear what, if you haven't already and you don't know, hear everything that's in the 1, 2, 3 motion. I've already read the response. And that's a mic drop in itself. But the 1, 2, 3 motion to vacate the judge explains a lot. So.
Did you see what happened when I was in my Tahoe today at Robbie's?
Mm-mm.
I was sitting there working on my laptop because I have internet in the Tahoe, so I'm working. And all of a sudden I hear thump, and I look up and I've got a lemur on the hood, and then I hear thump, and there's a lemur on the roof, and then I look over and there's a lemur hanging off the door, looking at me like, "Hey, you brought us a new playground." And I wound up with 3 lemurs on the roof of the while I'm sitting there. They're up here running around playing.
That's funny. Shut up, Bud Light.
I think they were actually assessing the food.
Right.
So they were scoping out where they could grab something to eat.
Really?
And they found some grapes that were out.
That's funny. That's so funny. Alrighty, guys. We have a lot of stuff to do. Tori has to work in the morning. We have a big day tomorrow. I can't wait to hear you read the rest of the transcripts, Lisa. Well, I'll be doing the 1, 2, 3 motion tomorrow night, and it may take 2 parts depending on how my voice is, but because it is long. So, or I'll have to break for a bit and go back to it. So, anyway, thank you all for hanging out here. Congrats to our winners. And I don't know if anybody caught it. I typed something last night because as I left, I forgot to tell you guys to go check out our mods channels. They're awesome. They're great people. They have really cool, fun stuff. So check them all out. Please support them. Every one of them has a goal they're trying to reach. So if you go and you support, you're helping them out too. They're amazing peeps, and they're always here for us. And please, please, please go help support them. Thanks to your what? Oh. So thank you all. I will be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. Tori, are you going? We don't know what time.
I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Yeah, we don't know. But I think there's something cool that Tori can do before we go live if we get back in time. I'm pointing it so she gets it.
I'm ignoring her.
Do you not want to go in that thing either? Are you serious? You do not want to go in that? Okay. That would be funny.
Words in my mouth.
That would be funny. Anyway, guys, I'm going to try and convince her to go live in the villages on the Loofah-mobile. But she'd have to do it by her phone, and she doesn't like going live on her phone like that. So
well, I can't read it.
Oh.
Especially if we're moving. With my eyes, I can't.
Well, you don't have to, because what'll happen is we'll get down there, you videotape us going, right? And they'll see the whole ride. And then when you get there, there'll be music playing and stuff, and you will stop. And then you can see. Because if you were driving, they can't expect you to be reading your phone anyway. Right? Right? Wouldn't that be fun if Tori went live driving around the villages in a golf cart? Anyway, but we don't know if
so go hang out with the old people where the men ride around with
it's not all
jugs on their body, on the back of their cart.
It's not all old people.
That's the ones I see when I'm riding around there. I see them old people driving around in their carts, and men have their little pee bottles on the back.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Okay.
I drove by the golf carts.
Will you trust me?
There was like 5 little old men out there, and they all had their little pee bottles hanging off the back of their golf carts.
Trust me. But it's all going to depend on how quickly we get back. But then again, she could do it Friday also. Well, wait, you're not going to be here.
No, I'm going to be at Robbie's. I've got to get those last 2 days.
She could do it Saturday.
I'm on the last 2 weeks of data to get entered.
Really? All right. Well, she could do it Saturday.
I would have gotten more done today, but I had to take a break to set up his YouTube, his StreamYard stuff.
Yeah, it's a very mixed crowd down there. And there's music, and it's fun. Yeah. It could be fun anyway.
It could be.
Yeah. And we just go around this for a little bit. We come back.
I didn't have to abandon my husband. I've done that all week.
That's why I just made a face at her like, really?
He goes just so he could be away from her.
Hey, that's fine. Yeah, sending prayers for Guapo. Guapo is having surgery tomorrow.
Tomorrow is surgery day. He better not chicken his ass out.
Yeah, he better not. Apparently, someone was trying to convince him not to go, which is kind of surprising, but I don't know. I didn't watch it. I don't know. But that's what they were saying in the chat.
His ACL is completely torn.
Yeah.
If he does not get it fixed, what's going to happen is his other ligaments are going to try to compensate.
Yeah, and that's not good.
To support his leg, which means he's going to cause damage to his other ligament structures in his knee.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get the ACL repaired. And so then he's going to wind up going in and get more than just the ACL repaired.
Yeah, not good.
Which is not good.
No, he needs is Guapo here?
Get the ACL repaired.
Yeah.
And evidently someone was trying to take his surgery spot. And they called him about it. And I'm like, well, if you have to postpone it, make it May 8th, and then we can be surgery buddies.
Right? He didn't postpone it, did he?
No.
Okay, so
no, because they were talking 6 to 8 weeks.
No, he should actually just go and get it done. He'll go to sleep, he'll wake up, he'll be in less pain. He might end up getting some kind of pain, because hey, you're having surgery on something, right? So when the meds wear off, you might be in a little bit of pain. But who knows,
And then Elizabeth's son Stephen is back in the hospital.
Why?
Pneumonia.
Oh no.
And he has a blockage, intestinal blockage.
Oh.
He's her special son.
Oh.
He has an intestinal blockage.
Well, prayers for Stephen.
He's like in a wheelchair most of the time, a lot of times and stuff like this. And so, yeah, he's not doing. He'll be okay.
Well, prayers for Stephen.
Hopefully, Guapo is sleeping.
Yeah.
They told him. He told him, he said, no eating after midnight.
Uh-huh.
And he said, so by 11:58, you better have taken in everything you want. No drugs, no medicines.
Right.
He said, nothing after midnight.
Hopefully he's
sleeping. He went and bought a lounge chair today, a recliner today, a really nice recliner. And I think he went and bought his crutches today. He just has to have someone drive him there and be there to drive him home.
His mom's probably going to go, right?
He'll have his crutches. And then he can go lay down in his recliner chair.
He's not going to walk out of there tomorrow, right? He's going to be in.
No, it's outpatient.
Get out of here.
Nowadays, ACL it's only one. It's ACL. They'll go in. He probably won't have any scars, just one or two small ones, where they go in, they'll put the equipment in, they'll grab everything and put it back and do all the repair there and go out. He won't have any major surgery or major scars.
Really? Well, that's a good thing.
About 6 months after they did mine, when I went into the doctor for a follow-up visit, he told me, he says, if you would have fallen now instead of when you did, your surgery would have been totally different.
Really?
He said you wouldn't have the scars you have now.
Because the equipment that they use. Yeah. Wow.
Because they had changed the technique, the standard of technique.
Right. Wow. Well, prayers out to Guapo. He will be fine. Prayers out to everybody who needs them. Please say some prayers for my cousin, Kendra. And guys, thank you all so much, seriously, for supporting us and being here. And we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully earlier than later for Tori. Get her on that lovely mobile. Oh my god, it took me forever to get Gabe on it, so I don't know. But Tori should be able to go on it just fine. Anyway, guys, thank you again. I'm getting delirious. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Ta-ta.
Toodaloo.